And welcome on into the 10-Pin Alley pregame show. Along with Eric Rogers, I'm Rich Reynolds. You know, I thought we were going to be at Brighton Box Stadium. We're not. We're at Lucier Stadium. Yeah, I totally lied to everyone last week, so if you do remember that, I apologize. But a cool, kind of overcast, expecting rain kind of a night as we have Edgewood against Monroe. We're in the Badger South Conference and taking a look at both of these teams for the first time this year. And what we're going to see, hopefully, is our first hotly contested game of the year. We've had a lot of blowouts, even ones that we didn't expect.
It could hurt or help your team depending on who you are. If you're playing in a bowl game here on 57,
right,
you're looking at it going, all right, the chances are 50-50 that we're either going to get blown out or do the blown out. But if you like running games, if you like the ground game, this game should be full of it.
Yeah, and that's what the Cheesemakers do and have been doing for a while under Coach Golembeski. And, you know, we're used to, I guess, traditionally seeing Monroe as a bit of a power. They've fallen on hard times. I'm kind of interested to see how they get that back, and they've been trying to build it on the ground.
They have. I mean, you get 7 rushing touchdowns last week in a win over Fort Atkinson, so that'll show that you definitely have some offensive firepower there and the ability to do it. Just going to be, does that show itself tonight against Edgewood? Is Edgewood able to take advantage of a quarterback that can do a little bit of running and a little bit of throwing and some offensive weapons that they have? Who's going to win out on that?
Edgewood with a couple of wins this season, so that's one more than Monroe. They would like to add to it and get a 3-win season, maybe even a 4-win season looking ahead to next week. So for the Crusaders and under first-year Coach Jesse Norris, what are we going to see from them?
Yeah, I'd say that's going to be a team that's kind of still trying to figure out their identity. And, you know, you get to this point in the year and you're already out of the playoffs, but, you know, you still have some things to play for when you're looking at next year. For your seniors, obviously, you're looking to end the year. It is senior night here for the Crusaders. We're going to see some good quarterback play, I would imagine. And I think that's kind of where it starts and stops tonight for Edgewood.
The Crusaders usually show up pretty well on 57. We'll see if that trend continues as we talk to the coaches. That's straight ahead here in the 10-Pin Alley pregame show on 57 Sports. Welcome back into the 10-Pin Alley pregame show. We talk with the head coach of Monroe right now in Toby Golembeski. And, Coach, talking about the state of football in Monroe right now. I mean, they start little, they work their way all the way up. What would you describe as the state of football right now in the city of Monroe?
Well, I would say we've gone through some bumps this season at the varsity level, but all the way down through our youth level, we're having some different successes, and I think we're in good shape. The arrow is pointing up, definitely. You know, we play in a tough conference with some tough competition, but we played competitive for portions of the game, and against the teams that are of our equal playoff division, we've done well also. So we're hoping to have a similar type thing tonight. Edgewood and us are matched pretty evenly record-wise. We're both neither of us are Division II, so you know we're both looking at a lot of the same obstacles, and I think we're gonna have a really good game tonight.
So you obviously talk about, you know, how you've had that success this year, and it's been no secret you run the ball a lot. So what's kind of what are you looking for as far as advantages that you think you can, or maybe mismatches, or even some things maybe you want to change up or keep the same?
Well, you know, we kind of go with the flow as the game's going on. We kind of go with what's working, what the defense has given us, and adjust to their adjustments and keep working from there. You know, you can't really force things. We're not big enough and strong enough, so we got to find what they're giving us and take advantage of those lanes.
Yeah, you talked about being close in a couple of tight games, and the one against Stoughton definitely pops out. What has derailed you then? Has it been mistakes that you've made?
Yeah, we just haven't been very consistent. Early on, we had some injuries, and we had some people doing different things, and we've been pretty steady right now, and that's why things are kind of working out for us a little better. Plus, we played some really good teams. I would expect, you know, so coming off of that Stoughton game, we go play MG, and I expect they're going to go pretty far into the playoffs at Division II, and nothing seems to go right then. So, you know, hopefully, you know, when we rebound the next week against Fort, and we were looking pretty good. You know, it's just about who you're playing, who's on the field at the time.
All right, Coach, thank you so much. Yeah, we ran out of time here.
No,
I wanted to know what it is, but Coach, thank you.
Right.
Good luck tonight.
Right,
Good chatting with you. Coach Golembeski right there. We'll be back and talk with Coach Norris right after this on 57 Sports. All right, time now to chat with head coach Jesse Norris of the Crusaders. And, Coach, as we go through this season, you guys only a couple wins. Obviously, you'd like to have a couple of more. How has the season gone for you so far, though? How has your team progressed from game one till now?
Well, I think the biggest thing is we've grown together as a team. Coming in, new culture, new program, new offense, new defense, new coaches. The biggest thing for us is just really trying to bond together as a unit. And so I think that we've done a very good job of creating a cohesive team. And so you see it week in and week out of guys doing the right things, the way they're supposed to be doing them, focusing on the little things and really focusing on creating this culture that's going to last, so this is not something that's going to be just a few years. We want this thing to grow and build and kind of end up being self-sufficient as the years go on.
Sort of along that same note, your first year coaching this squad, and then you take over for Coach Minner, who was here for many, many years. So what do you learn from that to transition to your regime?
Well, Coach Minner has been a tremendous help. Obviously, getting to know the area, getting to know the other teams, getting to understand the kids that are in the school and kind of the culture that was created. Obviously, being the winningest head coach in Madison with 200-plus wins, is obviously he knows his stuff. So I leaned on him a lot when I first got here and asked a ton of questions, and he's still in the building with us. He actually still does our chapel every single weekend. And so having him involved with our program has been a huge blessing. He obviously cares very, very deeply for the Crusader football program, and it's a blessing to have him around.
Some programs that are within cities like Monroe, they get to build from like 4th, 5th grade all the way up. They play together forever. Is it more of a challenge than to put a team together at a private school where you don't and you're kind of grabbing from other places?
Yeah, that is a little bit of a challenge, and we are kind of fighting a little uphill battle with that. But I think with adversity comes motivation, so it's just a little bit extra harder work for us. Just creating relationships and building relationships with our area parochial schools and things like that, I guess they call our feeder schools, and kind of seeing what that relationship is like. Is a youth football program at Edgewood in the future? I would like to say it is, but we can work on that dynamic a little bit.
Well, Coach, senior night, hopefully they get to go out with a win at a home game. Nice to meet you, Coach Jesse Norris right there. And we do have the Blow and Smoke Tailgate Show coming up next here on 57 Sports.
All right, the Cheese Bowl is about to get underway. We have the Nonos Ristorante Italiano coin toss. Monroe and Edgewood meeting at midfield now.
Your first name again is? Jordan, nice to meet you. Our officials for tonight's ball game is Mr. Griffin will be your umpire. Mr. Stewart is the line judge. Mr. Noga is the head linesman. Mr. Staub is your back judge, and I'm Mr. Stewart. I'll be your referee for tonight's game. Now, we're in the 8th week of the season, so we anticipate that we're going to have really good sportsmanship between both teams, 2 good quality schools, so let's make sure we have that. Okay, our coin for tonight, this is our coin. This will be heads. Tails. Monroe is the visiting team. What would you like?
Heads.
Heads he calls. Heads it is.
We'd like to defer.
Okay. Monroe wins the toss. They elect to defer. Yeah. They would like to receive. Which way do you want to kick the football?
Which way do you say? Doesn't really matter. Kick this way.
Kick from the clock. So let's swing right around here, fellas. Okay, in the first half, Edgewood will receive the kick. Second half, and we'll take your defer. Okay, let's shake hands. Have a good game, fellas.
All right, there you have it, your Nonos Ristorante Italiano coin toss, and we'll have the national anthem coming up in just a moment on the Cheese Bowl on 57 Sports.
Well, Welcome back. You're joining us here at the A1 Furniture Cheese Bowl. We're getting ready for Monroe to play Edgewood. Right now, it's time for us to give away our Community Leader Award on behalf of Starion Bank. So I'm going to introduce you to the folks standing next to me. I have Jordy Rothwell with us, who is our community leader, and I've also got the Starion Bank representatives, Josh Murphy and Andy Arians. Thanks so much for being here, guys, and thank you for being with us.
Thank you so much for having me, Jessa.
So I have so many accomplishments to share with you. It might take me a minute to get through this list, but you're a very impressive young lady. Jordy's on the math team and plays soccer for Edgewood High School and has a full ride to play soccer at Creighton University. So congrats on that. Not only that, but a huge leader at her school and in the community. She's on the Millennial Soccer Club and the Crusader Leadership Council. Her and her brother, who we're going to meet here in a minute, have a combined over 700 hours in community service, and both have a GPA over 4.0. So I think it speaks for itself. Jeez. All right, so this Community Leader Award, again, is brought to you by Starion Bank. I'll let you guys do the honors.
Well, Jordy, congratulations, and on behalf of Starion Bank, we'd like to present you with the Community Leadership Award. Thanks so much for your dedication to the community. Good luck with school.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for everything that you do.
Thank you.
We want to say a big thank you, of course, to Starion Bank. Without sponsors like Starion Bank, this broadcast and this award wouldn't be possible. So thank you so much for recognizing leaders in our community. Again, this is Josh Murphy and Andy Arians. And this is Jordy Rothwell. What a list of accomplishments. Thanks so much.
Thank you so much. I think it's really huge to just give back to your community all that they've given me. So to give it back to the community is really big for me. So
such an impressive young lady. This is our Starion Bank Community Leader Award. We've got more for you coming up next. Welcome back. We're here at the A1 Furniture and Mattress Cheese Bowl. We're getting ready for Monroe to play Edgewood, and we're very excited about our pregame activities here. Right now, we get to give away some great awards. We actually just met our next guest sister just a minute ago. If you're just tuning in, this is Brandon Rothwell, and I appreciate you being with us tonight.
Thank you so much for having me.
So glad to have you. Okay, Brandon was selected as our student community leader for so many reasons. I need notes. You and your sister both are just incredibly involved in what you're doing. Brandon is president of Close Up, and you gave me just the brief overview of what that is. Give me the elevator pitch again.
It's just like a current events club. You know, we try to get a good amount of people to show up and just kind of talk about politics, both on the local level, the United States level, and around the world. So it's just kind of a good place to come and just have open thoughts and talk about different political events and stay up to date on things like that.
What a great thing for students to get involved in. Brandon also plays basketball and soccer at Edgewood High School. Plans on possibly attending UW-Madison. Still thinking about where to go. But a member of the Millennial Soccer Club and the Crusader Leadership Council. So impressive. He and his sister, who you met before the break, have a combined over 700 hours in service for the community. Very impressive, and both have a GPA over 4.0. I also want to read a quote from your soccer coach, Chris. The impact both Jordy and Brandon have left on our soccer program at Edgewood over the past 4 years is immeasurable. Both are quite talented soccer players, and it's their competitive spirit which genuinely inspires the coaching staff and their teammates to show up every day with the right attitude to strive for success. What a nice statement. So Brandon, on behalf of Dental Health Associates and 57, I want to present you with the Student Community Leader Award. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for what you're doing in our community. You and your sister both are just exemplary students and athletes.
Yeah, it's just kind of important to give back. You know, my parents have worked super hard to provide for me, and just kind of the opportunities I have, it's really important to provide for those who don't have opportunities. So in the instance of Millennium Soccer Club, kids who haven't really had the opportunities that I've had playing soccer, just to be able to, you know, share my talents and love for the game with them and, you know, allow them to have fun and enjoy something that I've enjoyed is just really important.
And this is why I love this job, meeting folks like you and your sister Jordy. Thanks so much for being here.
Thanks so much.
Thanks again to Dental Health Associates for the opportunity to present this award. We're going to be right back with the A1 Furniture and Mattress Cheese Bowl.
trying to set the scene for you here at Lucier Stadium along with Eric Rogers. I'm Rich Reynolds. I will tell you this, you can't tell by our camera shots. It is overcast. We are expecting rain, a little bit warmer than I thought it might be, and the mosquitoes have made their triumphant return to South Central Wisconsin.
They're back here in what will be a very muddy field at some point here tonight.
Yeah, we are expecting rain at the tail end of this football game, and hopefully the game will get in before that happens. What is definitely happening right now is a national anthem brought to us by 1901.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave? And the home of the brave.
Kickoff is next. It's the Crusaders and the Cheesemakers in the Cheese Bowl here on 57 Sports.
Boy, if that can
Moments away from kickoff as the Crusaders are going to be on offense first. And if you like option football, heck, you've come to the right place here tonight as both of these teams run the option and pound the rock.
a lot of ground game to happen here tonight, Rich, and the Cheesemakers in their win against Fort Atkinson had 7 rushing touchdowns on the way to a win over the Fort Atkinson Blackhawks. So I would assume they try to do more of that again tonight, but you heard from Coach Tolembeski that, you know, you take what the defense gives you, and you hope you can make that happen, but you just never know. So I would expect a lot of ground game tonight from the Cheesemakers and from the Crusaders as well, Rich.
Both of these teams out of the Badger South Conference have played a couple of tough teams very closely. In fact, Monroe only lost to Stoughton 13-6 that a couple of weeks ago. Also, on that same Friday night in Watertown, Edgewood only lost by 9 to the Goslings, and those teams are hanging out near the top of the Badger South Conference. It's a kickoff on the way and a squib kick, and it's going to be fielded and down basically right in front of the 30-yard line, and that's where the Crusaders will go to work. And when they are on offense, we are going to take a look at senior quarterback Thomas Hartlieb.
Thomas Hartlieb completing 48.3% of his passes this year for 724 yards, which ranks 4th in the conference, Rich, so he can get the job done through the air. We'll see which form of that offense we see tonight with a kind of slick field, and as you mentioned in the pregame, the weather cooling off here and damp.
It is indeed, as we have had a lot of rain once again in the area, and a lot more is expected over the weekend as well. As the Crusaders on offense first, and over the right side, the give is to Mitchell Wendler, and Wendler will take it ahead for a couple yards. Wendler, the second leading rusher on the team, with 387 yards coming in, averaging 3.9 per pop.
Well, as both these teams kind of settle into this game and get used to the pace, Rich, I did see the Will linebacker kind of jump, and then the ball went the other way on that play. So we'll see how aggressive defensively they want to get.
Hartlieb going to give it up the middle once again, and they are trying the left side of that Monroe defense as the Crusaders finding some success there, as Wendler will take it near the first down sticks. It's 3rd and very short as we take a look at our first Bachman's Pools, Spas, and Saunas replay of the night.
Well, if you look at the ranks in this conference here, Rich, offensive yardage, rushing yardage, the Crusaders have over almost 1,100 yards on the season. They probably have 1,100 on the season. That ranks 5th in the conference in rushing yardage.
Wendler, the workhorse, as he is going to move the chains. It is a Courtesy Ford. First down at Courtesy Ford. It is Courtesy that counts. And as we look at it as a close-up there of Wendler, you can see on his arms already covered with mud.
It's going to be one of those where, you go back to mom to wash the uniform, and she goes, oh, man, just throw it out. I don't know.
Mom is not going to be happy with Mr. Wendler tonight. First pass of the night dropped out in the flats. Hartlieb was on target as he was looking for Alex Esch. Now the leading receiver for Edgewood is out tonight. Charlie Corcoran with a broken hand, pins in that, is spending the night off.
Yeah, we were blessed with the opportunity to share a press box here tonight with one of the assistant coaches for Madison Edgewood, kind of fill us in on some roster changes tonight. So not a good one for the Crusaders as, yes, their leading receiver out tonight.
Did I say rusher? I could have got that
I don't
wrong.
think so.
Okay, all right.
I think you got it.
It's not, above me to make those kind of wrong comments. So there we go. Give up the middle. It goes to Wendler once again, and it's going to bring up 3rd and long. One of the things that we've talked about with option teams, you don't want to be behind down and distance. 3rd and long is a bad spot for them to be in.
Well, what you do want to do is, especially if you're the quarterback, before you pitch it out, one of those keys is as you get to the line of scrimmage, you want to have your shoulders forward, square with the line of scrimmage, so the defender that's trying to tackle you thinks you are still going to run with the ball before you pitch it out.
Give to Wendler once again, fighting for yardage, but he's going to be stacked up and driven back at about the 42-yard line, making him about 3, maybe 4 yards short of a first down, and it looks like we might have our first punt of the night.
Trying to find, I have stats here somewhere, Rich, for punts, and I believe Hartlieb is the punter. He does have 13 punts on the year, does Thomas Hartlieb, the quarterback, averaging 39.3 punts, average, 1 touchback, 3 inside the 20.
Actually turning out to be a nice night for football as we are just getting started here. And our punter, though, promptly slips on that slick field. And there are players sliding all over the place as this punt return is going backwards now. Fielded it at the 21 and downed at the 20. So good kick coverage that time by Edgewood. All right, time for our first sideline report of the evening. Let's introduce Jessa Jeremiah. Take it away, Jessa.
The first one of the evening, and it's going to be a good one. If you enjoyed the national anthem as much as I did, you get to meet the face behind that voice. This is Corinna Smith, a senior here at Edgewood High School. Thanks so much for that performance. You're incredible.
Oh, thank you so much. It's my pleasure.
I asked Corinna before we started how she got into this. Share with our viewers at home kind of how you sort of landed in this position here tonight.
Yeah, so I usually sing sometimes at the basketball games or the football games because I've been doing the musicals at my school and a cappella groups and performing in the talent shows since about my freshman year. So from there, I got asked to do the national anthem at some games starting around my sophomore or junior year.
Lots of performing on your roster. Yes. So you mentioned musicals, a cappella. Talk to us a little bit about the musicals that you do and also the talent show you're involved in.
Yeah, so every year Edgewood does one big spring musical and all grades are involved. It's a really big part of Edgewood. The arts are a big part of Edgewood as well as sports and things like that. So that's always a really fun thing to be a part of. And then every about winter, springish, we do something called our talent show and anyone in any grade can participate and it's a really fun experience.
So impressive and so talented, Corinna Smith. I've met some great students here so far on the sidelines. You are no exception. You're wonderful. Thanks for taking a minute with us.
Thank you.
All right, we will get back to the game. That was Corinna Smith with your national anthem.
Yeah, and I got to tell you, Miss Smith did a great job on that national anthem. At first, I thought it was recorded, but it was that good. So if you did join us for the national anthem, that was great and a great way to start the night and a great start to the night for the Monroe offense as a couple of runs by Ethan Kleckler got them a first down. Kleckler, the leading rusher for the Cheesemakers.
Rich, you mentioned earlier about the option offenses for both these teams, and you're seeing a lot of this right now, a lot of movement before the snap, and what that's doing is moving linebackers outside of gaps, and then you usually hand off to the fullback like you did to Kleckler there, and you end up handing off into that gap, and that'll open up those lanes.
You also see these pro sets and offset pro sets. And, it's kind of interesting. Those were the rage. If you just saw that last formation that Monroe did in the 80s in the NFL, that's what you saw a lot of, fullback, halfback in offset pros. And so that was what you just saw from Kleckler there as he picked up a couple on first down.
And you're going to see a lot of more what you would typically see as your one-back formations in the NFL here in some of the other Badger Conference teams.
Driving forward now, and that is actually on the carry. Looked like Aiden Sweeney, I believe, on the carry, his first carry of the night. And Sweeney, coming into tonight, only had 8 carries for 24 yards all season long. So we're getting a look at Sweeney, who has not been often used.
Actually, I believe it went to 32, which would be Jordan Montgomery, if I'm not mistaken, or did it go to 22?
It was 22,
right.
yeah. So
there you go.
Yeah, Montgomery we're going to see a lot of, and this is more of that option set that we're looking to, the fake to Montgomery, and moving left and picking up the first down is your quarterback there, and starting tonight is Max Golombeski, and Golombeski only a sophomore all season long. We were taking a look at Alex Witt, but that's Golombeski, and he is able to get a first down.
Yeah, good point, Rich, because in this season he's only thrown 5 passes, completed one of them for 5 yards, and there you see him doing it on the ground.
So Sweeney not often used, Golombeski not often used, but they are getting the starts here tonight for Coach Golombeski as the future is now for the Cheesemakers, as a give is going to be up the middle, and that time I believe it went to Montgomery as they get off the pile, and actually, nope, that's Kleckler once again picking up 5 on first.
Yeah, interesting the way that Monroe is using their, personnel in this first possession, and kind of throwing us for a little bit of a loop. You're expecting some of those different guys, and you're doing your research and your notes, and maybe that's part of what Edgewood's doing too, and they didn't expect to see Golombeski.
Handoff this time going nowhere fast, as brought down in the backfield was Kleckler, and a nice job of penetrating by Nick Fox.
Nick Fox, a junior here, 6'2", 212 pounds.
Wow, nice. Just shooting the gap as you check that out on the replay, and a good job by our camera crew here at Lusher Stadium as well. Bringing up 3rd down and long, and again, those option teams, 3rd and long is the devil. Foosball is the devil.
Was trying to figure out which reference I wanted to throw out there, Rich.
That's where I was going with that one.
Girls
Aiden
of the devil,
Sweeney.
or football, yeah.
Sweeney gets about a yard. It's going to be 4th and a long 5, maybe 6. And we'll see what the Cheesemakers elect to do here, as they're just inside the 40-yard line, but probably one of those areas where maybe you want to go for it.
Well, you try to be aggressive and catch the defense off center, and it appears that's what they're going to do.
Yeah, why not? You're at the point in the season, both teams have been eliminated from playoff contention, and what you really want to do is just try and press the issue. Get that either 2nd win of the season if you're the Cheesemakers, or 3rd win for the Crusaders. 4th and 5, and the give is going to be to Montgomery. Montgomery turns the corner, still going inside the 20, knocked out of bounds, but flags fly as he hit the edge there, and it looks like holding.
Well, if it is holding, it's coming back, obviously, but what a gutsy call from Coach Golombeski in his 3rd year here with the Cheesemakers, his 29th year coaching overall, Rich, and he has spent some times at all different kinds of levels coaching.
Nice run by Montgomery. It looks like maybe Wade Sweeney is the one that they threw the flags at, number 10 out there, and they are indeed going to march it back, and the Cheesemakers now might be thinking about punting that football.
Well, Golombeski's still out there. I don't see if he has any punts in his stat sheet this year. So I would imagine that this is the same offensive set.
Hey, Cheesemakers say, why not? We're going to roll the dice here. 4th down, make it 11 now, and they're going to go for it. And we'll see what the coach decides to dial up here. Golombeski drops back. Hits Montgomery in the flats. He dropped it, but I don't think he was going to get a first down on that anyways. So, wow, the Crusaders take over in great field position. We'll see their 2nd offensive set of the night when we return here on 57 Sports.
noticed that when his tight end blocks down, he's got to fill wide. He got sucked in on that play with the holding. Yep. He's got to run that. He's got to run the alley and fill that D gap.
Crusaders start at their own 45, second drive of the night. Still scoreless here in the 2018 Cheese Bowl, as the give is going to go up the middle for a short gain. By the way, if you're watching us on Facebook, we would like to thank Ansay and Associates for the Facebook live feed. They give you more than just insurance. They give you peace of mind. That's the Ansay way.
Yeah, absolutely. And Facebook Live, a good way to watch it if you can't make it out to the game. You can also watch our replays, obviously, if you're likely watching it at home.
Yeah, that's how most people end up watching us. And, of course, our title sponsor, A1 Furniture and Mattress, brings us all the games, and a big thank you to them again as the quarterback Hartley drilled, but he gets it out to the right side, incomplete at the 28-yard line. Wow, what a catch, as circling out of the backfield on that one was Mitchell Wendler. The old circle route as Hartley got crushed. As you take a look at the replay, great catch by Wendler.
2 feet in, Rich. 2 feet.
Wow, excellent job. And a high-flying play. And check that. That is 25 Murphy Penwell, the tight end. So, boy, when you got mud on that uniform, it's hard to tell sometimes between a 22 and a 25. So let's give credit where credit's due. Penwell with the big catch and the reception there. It was a pickup of 28 yards, and now the Crusaders back to the ground on first down.
Well, I don't know if you caught that on the replay, Rich, but Hartley was throwing it off his back foot as he's being tackled, loft that ball up there.
Oh, he got crushed. I mean, that would have been roughing in the NFL for sure, but not at the high school levels. It gives straight up the middle and spurting forward for a first down. The quick feet there of Greg Zentmeyer. Zentmeyer is the leading rusher for the Crusaders, and you can see why as he just follows the big uglies there and goes straight up the middle for a first.
Yeah, a little bit more on that carry than his 4.6 yards average on a rush, and he moves the chains, and now look at this. All of a sudden you're in the red zone and threatening, and of course this all started with a turnover on downs.
Ball on the 15-yard line. Crusaders in the red zone as Zentmeyer is able to skip away from one tackle and now has the edge. Inside the 10, the 5, towards the end zone. He is out at the half-yard line. Wow, thought Zentmeyer might have had the corner of the end zone. They're going to mark him out at the 1.5-yard line. What a run.
Give the man the touchdown.
Really, he slips, then breaks an arm tackle, keeps on going as you look at the replay, finds the corner, thought he had the edge. Oh, come on. How can
Stick
you
on the
cut
replay.
that replay short like that? Oh, my goodness. First and goal from the one. The give is going to be up the middle, and this time pay dirt is found. Touchdown, Crusaders. Zentmeyer gets it, and he deserved it. Great series there by the senior tailback.
Yeah, just a drive that was purely Edgewood saying, we are going to run it down your throat. We're going to make you pay for going for it on us on 4th and 11.
Yeah.
And there you go. It started with that. What a pass, to dropping it in there, Hartley and the sidelines, and an impressive drive by the Crusaders.
And an excellent job by Zentmeyer, as with 2:49 left in the first quarter, we have our first tally of the night, and it is a 1-yard run by Zentmeyer. Chris Bowl on to kick the extra point. And movement up front, they'll move it a little bit closer. Why do that on an extra point, Eric? Why?
That's a good question. Bowl 6 for 7 on his point afters this year, 1 for 1 on regular field goals. But yes, you think you're going to get a statistical advantage and jump over the line and block that extra point. But hey, I guess you can't blame them for the effort Monroe's putting in tonight. They are being aggressive.
Yeah, I want them to be fired up and aggressive, but it's an extra point,
Every play, Rich. Every play.
I've lost that mentality. I haven't played in a while. I've been out of high school, man. Bowl lines it up once again. The snap good. The kick good as well. And it's 7-0 Crusaders as we go to break from the Cheese Bowl here on 57 Sports. Good shot there, a first-year head coach, Jesse Norris of Madison Edgewood, and he's got to be fired up as his Crusaders have a 7-0 lead, and they did it with great field position, one long pass, and then Greg Zentmeyer doing the rest.
I think this is a team that's, I don't want to say underachieved, but I think they feel they're better than a 2-5 team right now, and they certainly looked like it on that drive. Monroe being aggressive tonight, maybe a little bit too aggressive in some cases, and we'll see how Monroe responds with that running offense.
By the way, a big thank you to our title sponsor, as always, A1 Furniture and Mattress, for bringing us this football game tonight. A1 Furniture and Mattress is your premier mattress and furniture store. Kickoff off the foot of Bowl, a surprise onside that's going to go out of bounds, actually, not offsides. That would be out of bounds. And the Cheesemakers now are going to have great field position. But I kind of like this. Yep, we're going for it on 4th and long if you're Monroe. Yep, we're going with the surprise onside if you're Edgewood. Why not let it all hang out?
This is something that when we're doing our research prepping for the game, I don't know if either of us really took into account the, second to last game of the regular season. You're starting to think about, let's just do some things we don't normally do and surprise the other team and see if we can execute it.
See some players play who don't normally play, all of that kind of good stuff. Cheesemakers take over in Crusader territory at the 46-yard line. Golembeski under center. And he is going to roll left, still looking left. He's left-handed. That's how he throws. Looking for Montgomery. Check that. That would be Kleckler out there. And that pass falls short, incomplete. Tough pass to make on the run.
Yeah, Will Roach, the linebacker, was following him the entire width of the field, just ready to pounce if he didn't get that pass off. So Golembeski, lucky he was able to throw that one, and maybe lucky it just went in the dirt. It's not the prettiest of throws, but goes incomplete and you don't get hurt.
That's already the second pass attempt we've seen tonight. This is not a passing team, and so kind of surprising that we've even seen two so far here in the first quarter. Kleckler up the middle. No, actually, it's a pitch. It's going to go outside. Big gain out there off the left side and still going inside the 25-yard line as they give us to Nick Bansley. And Bansley, his first carry goes for big yardage and a first down.
Well, Golembeski pays for it. Watch it, slips and just drilled before he gets that one out there.
21-yard gain for Bansley. Bansley coming into tonight, 41 carries, 317 yards. That's good enough for nearly 8 yards per pop, and he broke it there for 21.
He was an all-conference honorable mention running back just a year ago.
1st and 10 now, just outside of the red zone, gives straight up the middle. And once again, this is Kleckler, and Kleckler is going to move the chains. Nope, just shy of a first down.
Last week at Fort Atkinson, he had 21 carries for 163 yards, had a touchdown, a fumble, and a pair of tackles.
Look at the mud caking up on the players. Great shots from our camera crew tonight. And actually, this is one of those games that if you've ever played in, this is a fun time to play football when you get all muddy like that.
I always enjoyed that too. I didn't play football, but as sports in general, anytime you can just throw the, hygiene aside a little bit, why not?
Absolutely. Kleckler straight up the middle once again, and this time it is going to be a courtesy forward first down. In fact, make it 1st and goal as Kleckler's inside the 10.
Yeah, that was a nicely designed play because he had a couple different options of where you're going to run that football in. As the defender was busy tackling the other running back, Kleckler picks up the first down and goal.
Our camera crew was faked out on that one. I was trying to call that one straight off the monitor. Silly me.
Don't do it.
You don't want to do that sometimes with an option offense and your camera guy getting faked out. Up the middle now once again, and this time there are a pile of Crusaders to stop Kleckler at the 5.
Well, I like that type of play because that leaves the option of not just giving it to the fullback, but that last-minute pitch to the tailback in the backfield, because you have that other option after, say, Edgewood gets used to what they saw on that play. It's one more play you can make out of that formation.
Bansley, Kleckler, Montgomery in the backfield, and the give is going to be to Jordan Montgomery, and Jordan Montgomery has 6 as he barrels over the right side into the end zone and a touchdown for the Cheesemakers.
Real simple, open up a lane. Suppose he could have gone left a little bit, but he'll hit the Edgewood defender and take him out.
So after the Crusader touchdown, they tried the surprise onside. That didn't work, and it ends up costing the Crusaders as they left a short field for the Cheesemakers, and Monroe took advantage. Now they're going to also try to take advantage of a 2-point conversion as the give is going to be to the second man through, and it's good. Montgomery goes behind. They faked it to Kleckler, give it to Montgomery, and it pushes the Cheesemakers ahead. 8-7 is our new score here on 57 Sports. Back out at the 2018 Cheese Bowl presented by A1 Furniture and Mattress, and we have had a lot of the ground game as expected. Both teams putting in touchdowns on their last drives.
Just about 1 quarter in the books and a lot of mud developing here, so by 4th quarter, be real pretty.
I love it. You're going to change it from the Cheese Bowl to the Mud Bowl.
That sounds dirty.
That does, doesn't it? Like the Mud Puppies. Didn't we already make a Waterboy reference?
You mean the Mud Dogs?
Mud
Dogs.
That's what they were, Mud Dogs.
LSCSU Mud Dogs?
Yeah.
Is that how it was?
The SCLSU.
Yeah. There you go. We got it eventually. Teamwork.
Dan Patrick doing the updates. It was Brent Musburger and Dan Fouts on the call at the Bourbon Bowl. All good stuff. If you haven't seen the Waterboy in a while, highly recommended. 50 seconds left in this one, and the first quarter at least, and the Crusaders trailing now by a point, 8-7. But so far, I think both teams at least able to accomplish a little bit of what they want to do, and that's get the ball going on the ground.
I don't want to say this feels like a preseason game in the NFL or something, but it's kind of one of those games that you kind of like just for the fact that you can play with almost reckless abandon. You know, you just throw some things at it and see what sticks.
Love it.
You
As
go for
the
2.
give, yeah. Still running and on his feet is Mitchell Wendler, who was just picking his way patiently off the left side and getting a good gain of 5 yards on first down.
As Coach Norris comes in his first year, his 2nd overall year as a head coach, 3-time academic All-American, and reached the D2 playoffs at Hillsdale College in Michigan as a player.
2nd down and 5. Yeah, I like Coach Norris. I tell you what, he seemed pretty intense, too, before the game, and so he was fired up and focused, and his team seems to be as well. So give up the middle. It's going to bring up 3rd down and short, and we will have that play when we return. First quarter is in the books, and it's Monroe 8, Madison Edgewood 7, as you are watching the 2018 Cheese Bowl, and you are watching 57 Sports.
Welcome back to the A1 Furniture Cheese Bowl. If you're just tuning in, we've got the Monroe Cheese Makers here with the Edgewood Crusaders. Right now, I have the Edgewood Crusaders dance team. I've got senior Colleen Sherpella to my right and dance coach Kristen Wills, and of course the team here as well. Thanks for taking a minute with us, guys.
Of course.
So I want to talk to you a little bit about how the team works. This is your fall team. You kind of have 2 seasons. Explain that.
Yes, so we kind of have 2 seasons, but we actually even start all the way back in June. And we do stuff over the summer with everybody, and then we do a fall and a winter, and girls can do one or the other or both. So most do winter, and then, or everybody does winter, and then most do fall.
So as we go into the winter season, you're also a competition team. So talk to us a little bit about what you're looking forward to.
Yeah, so in the winter, it's kind of our main season because we have our own competitions, not just events, other sports events that we perform at. And we're kind of coming off of last year. We won regionals, which was really exciting. So we're hoping to kind of keep that going this year and do all that we can.
That's impressive. Congrats on the regional win last year. I'm sure you guys work really hard to practice for that. A little bit of a young team here for the fall. You're the only senior on the team for this part of what you guys are doing here, performing at halftime. Talk to us about what we're going to look forward to and some of your practices getting ready for that.
Sure. So for the fall season, we practice 2 times a week. And a lot of times we get our dance together really quickly because it's just we can learn really quickly. And I mean, this week we're doing a routine we do every year, so that's really exciting. And it's more of our low-key season. Like Kristen said, we do our competition season, and this is just all about fun and performing and just, yeah.
Can't wait to see it. I've gotten to see a little bit of you guys right here next to me as you're next to the table and cheering on, of course, the spectators in the stands. We look forward to seeing you at halftime. Colleen, Kristen, ladies, thanks so much. We'll get back to the game here for second quarter of the 2018 Cheese Bowl.
And thank you, Jess, as we are back out at Lucier Stadium along with Eric Rogers. I am Rich Reynolds as the Crusaders now on their third possession of the night, and that one did not turn out well for Thomas Hartlieb as he tried the right side. Not sure if he was going to run or pass. Either way, it didn't go well.
You go for a pass on first down, which was an open look and dropped, puts you in this situation, which was an obvious passing down, and now here you are at third and long after losing maybe about 7-8 yards.
It's one of those things in baseball. Strike one is the most important pitch. In football, first down is the most important play. You got to get yards on first down. As a flag flies, it is a Cobusson Buses flag, and a false start on the Crusaders will make 3rd and 17, 3rd and 22. By the way, Cobusson Buses, who gives us our flags for the night. Remember, don't get penalized for passing school buses. When the red lights are flashing, there is no passing.
Well, now it'll be an obvious passing down for Hartlieb, who had 222 yards and 2 touchdowns.
And that throw way too long for his intended receiver, looking for Jackson Wendler on the go route and nearly picked off. If he would have thrown it a little bit longer, that one was coming back the other way, so it's going to bring up 4th down, and we'll see the Crusaders punt once again. Now, the last time we saw them punt, we saw slippage on that one as this field is getting softer and softer.
Yeah, if you don't already have the longest cleats possible, those will be changed out at halftime, you got to believe.
Punt on the way. This one a little bit better. Short but high. Fair catch is called for and made by the Cheesemakers, who go on offense right after this on 57 Sports. Second quarter is moving along here. 8-7, Monroe on top. Back on offense right now as the ball carriers Montgomery for a short game.
Montgomery has been the workhorse here for the Cheesemakers throughout the season. So, Rich, I do want to get to, our typical trivia question here every week and every week, and this one is, I made it a little bit harder for you. So what Brookfield native played for the Badgers before coaching at Florida Atlantic and making his way back to the Madison area?
So he was coaching at Florida Atlantic. Was he a head coach?
It's vague for a reason, Rich.
Oh, okay.
It's vague for a reason.
All right, we'll keep it vague then. So there you go. That question brought to us by League Trivia. And with League Trivia, they have pub-style trivia. Play by yourself or with a team for individual nightly up to $100 prizes, plus enormous tournament prizes up to 10 grand. That's leaguetrivia.com in Stoughton. Join them and start winning today. And another Cobusson Buses flag. This one goes against the Crusaders. And first down yardage now right at midfield for Monroe.
Yeah, I got to say I like what I'm seeing from the Cheesemakers just because it's so different. There's a lot unexpected about this offense than what I was seeing in, some of the research when, just kind of looking into this. And I think that's going to bode well for them in this game. And as I mentioned, the reckless abandon, and maybe that helps them out.
Good strong run that time over the left side as that was Kleckler. And Kleckler is an imposing figure. He's only 5'10", but he's 200 pounds.
Yeah.
And if you've ever tried to tackle one of those low center of gravity big guys, It's not fun.
You don't say. Yeah, 5 touchdowns on the year coming into this game, tied for 4th in the conference.
Kleckler again lining up directly behind Golembeski. Montgomery is in the backfield as well, as Golembeski's going to keep it, pitch it, and a good gain as Bansley will advance the rock to the 35-yard line. First down yardage on a pickup of 11.
Yeah, decent block there on the edge from Montgomery to spring the other running back to pick up that first down, move the chains. I think it could have gone for a little bit more, but you take that and you build on that moving forward. And, man, this running game has been pretty darn good. I don't want to say no resistance, but certainly has been, in favor of the Cheesemakers.
Great replay there as well, as you saw Bansley diving for extra yardage, rolling in the muddy field. All good stuff tonight from our very fine crew, and all in HD as well, which makes it even better as Kleckler gains a yard on first down. By the way, we're coming up quickly on the end of the regular season. Where do we finish up next week, Eric?
So next week we finish the regular season back here at Loser Stadium, where Middleton takes on La Follette. La Follette clinging to hope for a playoff berth. Middleton already in, so that will be a good one. La Follette, you got to believe, is going to be pulling out all stops if they don't win this week. So you better be paying attention. We'll be back here.
And our second look at that Middleton Cardinal football team, which is pretty darn good. So
absolutely
want to see how they're going to look going into the playoffs. Second and long now as Montgomery on the jet sweep action. Forget about it. Great job by the Crusader defense. That play went nowhere fast, and it's 3rd and a bunch coming up for Monroe.
That's a tough play to make if you're a linebacker, to be disciplined enough to watch where that ball actually goes, because if you're not paying attention for just a blink of an eye, you could have taken the up back there and been totally out of the play.
And Mitchell Wendler, who is the tailback, making a great tackle there of his counterpart Montgomery. 3rd down, we'll call it 12 now for Monroe, in a passing kind of down, you would think, but no, they give it to Montgomery, who's going to burst ahead and just get past the marker for a first down. And when you think pass and someone does run, things like that happen.
I was going to say, it looked like Edgewood was a little bit in their sticks defense, just stay ahead of the sticks and keep that play in front of you, and they could not do it on the surprise run play on 3rd and long.
Yeah, and actually right there, the last line of defense was number 80, Jackson Wendler. If Wendler doesn't make that tackle, that's a Monroe touchdown. That's how good that play was there for the Cheesemakers. 1st and 10 now, ball just inside the 25-yard line. As a Crusader defense now getting beaten up here by this ground game of Monroe.
Yeah, Edgewood expecting run on that play, and they did call that one correctly that time.
Kleckler with a minimal gain. So, all right. I cheated. I looked at the answer of the trivia question.
You did?
Yeah, I'm sorry. You made me look at the question, and then the answer was right underneath, so I won't venture a guess.
I'll cover up the second half of that
next
time. So we'll give you the question again. So what Brookfield native played for the Badgers before coaching at Florida Atlantic and making his way back to the Madison area? Well, that would be defensive backs coach for Madison Edgewood, Ben Strickland. A lot of former Badgers on this coaching staff here for Madison Edgewood, but Strickland obviously played DB at Wisconsin before taking the DB assistant role from 2012 to 2014. He was a coach under Gary Anderson, and then made his way back here. He coached at Florida Atlantic, and the reason he did not stay with the Badgers, he did not keep his job under Paul Christ. He wanted to bring in some different names, and so he went to Florida Atlantic, and now he's back here in Madison along with a couple other Badgers on this Edgewood staff.
Gary Anderson, who left here to go to Oregon State. He now resides in the Where Are They Now
I don't know
files.
where he is these days.
It's exactly as Kleckler the give, and I think he got the first down before being pushed back as the Cheesemaker march will continue. As you know what? Everybody is entitled to a mistake, and for Coach Alvarez as an athletic director, that was his. Gary Anderson kind of bamboozled us all.
Yeah, it was one of those that when the hire was made, I don't remember, I was covering the Badgers at that time as a reporter, and I didn't hear a whole lot of other reporters and media type clamoring about that hire. It was just kind of like, well, hey, we got a guy, and it was on the short list. The short emergency list, maybe?
Well, he was the head coach at Utah State, and you remember Utah State nearly pulled the upset at Camp Randall as Montgomery takes it inside the 10 down to the 8-yard line. And so I think everybody kind of fell in love with him then at the UW, like, wow, who's this guy? And how does he have this team, from Utah State almost ready to beat us? And so Anderson became the Badger head coach the next year and was abruptly.
Every now and then, Rich, we get infatuated with someone we shouldn't. And I think that might have been what happened there with the Badgers.
Happens to me almost every night. 5:01 to halftime, second down and 4 when we get back here on 57 Sports. We've had a couple touchdowns tonight. They are brought to us by Geeks Mania. All-day free play unlimited. No quarters or tokens. Just one price at Geeks Mania Arcade. And that on second down is going to be good enough for a first down as Bansley takes it inside of the 5. Well, wait, maybe I was a little too quick on that one. I thought he had first down yardage, but the spot is going to make it real close. Close enough, I think, that they have to measure. No, it is a first down.
I guess they decided,
First they were putting up fourth down, then they were going to bring the chains out, then they stopped. Now it's first down. I had it right all along.
Miscommunication, Rich.
My eyes did not deceive me. I might be getting old, but I'm not that old.
What?
Exactly.
I didn't hear you. What?
First and goal. It is the 4-yard line where the Cheesemakers set up. They're just methodically moving this football down the field.
That's not going to help.
Fly. Yeah, they're going to go 5 yards back on the false start. That's one of those where everybody knew you were supposed to go on 2, except for the center who thought it was on 3.
Oh, boy. Yeah, you moved the Cheesemakers back and that's a big penalty there, and now you're looking at the possibility of opening it with a passing play, but it doesn't look like Monroe is too worried about throwing tonight.
Now they were even able to pick up a 3rd and 12. That was on a running play to Jordan Montgomery on this drive, and it has been pretty evenly dispersed between Montgomery, Kleckler, and Bansley on this drive so far for the Cheesemakers. Give is going to be to Montgomery, and he is going to plow forward over the right side into the end zone. Touchdown, Monroe. 9-yard run that was set up by the good push of the offensive line over right tackle.
Well, boy, just slithered his way between the creases, and a little bit of footwork, and finds his way to pay dirt.
Touchdown there for the Cheesemakers. They're going to go for 2 once again, already up by 7, looking to push this to a 2-score game. Montgomery, it will dive straight forward, actually stay on his feet into the end zone. The 2-point conversion is good as the Cheesemakers right now are running wild. 16-7 over Edgewood on 57 Sports.
Hi, welcome back to the A1 Furniture and Mattress Cheese Bowl. If you're just tuning in, the Monroe Cheesemakers are here at Edgewood Crusaders. Of course, we're at La Follette High School tonight, and we're joined by the athletic director for Edgewood. This is Chris Zwetler. Thanks for taking a minute with us.
You betcha. Thanks for being here tonight.
We really appreciate you having us. We love covering Edgewood. The students here are just awesome. I got the opportunity to introduce a few of them to our viewers as we gave away some community leader awards. We also talked to some of the cheer team. One of the things that I notice every time I get the opportunity to interview your students is the balance that they have between athletics and school. So talk to us. You make it look so easy. I'm sure it's not.
No, it's not easy. Our kids are really, they're high achievers, and they really focus on the academic end. And then when you add on top of that, that some of them are some pretty special athletes. It's we're very lucky to have them. Most of our kids are asked to do a lot at school here. Between the commitment of the academic piece and then at the high level of athletics that they are, they're going 12, 14 hours a day. I know a lot of kids at a lot of schools are, but it's pretty impressive how they're able to balance the academic piece and then still perform in the athletic world like they are.
Academics, athletics, and also some of them out in their community really putting out service hours both inside the four walls of the school and outside. So
yeah, all the students are asked to do a minimum of 100 hours service over the 4 years here. And like I said, it can be a tough balance, but they have a great support system at home. They have a great support system within the hallways. Our teachers are awesome. And, they're very flexible and understanding about what these kids are going through. And our coaches are as well, which helps. And then, but in students, when they feel like they're getting real stressed out, they know that they got help if they need it.
It's nice to know that there's a good support system in place. Now, obviously, tonight we're here covering football. Give us some highlights of other athletics going on at Edgewood.
Oh, you bet. We just had our girls golf team win the sectional on Tuesday, and so they've qualified for the state meet for the 17th time, actually, and that's Monday and Tuesday at University Ridge, October 8th and 9th. And then we found out yesterday afternoon our girls tennis team won the Division II sectional that they played in, and they advanced to the state meet on October 20th, and they'll play University School, and we'll also have about 7 of our 10 individuals playing in the state individual tennis meet next Thursday, Friday, Saturday at Nielsen Tennis Stadium. So besides that, our girls swim teams have been ranked in the top 5 all year. Our boys soccer team's on a 5-game unbeaten streak. And so our teams are really doing well and having a good year so far this fall. Our girls volleyball team conference meets tomorrow, so they're the 5 seed, so maybe they're going to pull a few upsets off tomorrow. And then next Friday, our boys and girls cross country teams, we host the conference meet at Lake Farm Park down there by Oregon.
Well, congratulations and good luck to these student athletes. We've got just a few minutes left here of second quarter, so we'll let you get back to the game. Thanks so much.
Thanks a lot, Jessa. Thanks for coming.
All right, that was a sideline report. We'll get back up to the booth.
And thank you, Jessa. Always love hearing from Coach Sweatler as Greg Zentmeyer continues to have a great series as the Crusaders marching down the football field quickly. I think it's cool. One of the things he talked about with students doing 100 hours of community service per year.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, my son's actually at Edgewood College, which is on the same campus. They share that with Edgewood High School, and he's doing 200 hours of community service, per year. In fact, working at a Madison area food pantry, then also working for a place called Kindred Kids, where he's not working, he's volunteering his time to do that. But service, definitely a big part of what they do on the Edgewood campus.
I also think it's super unique that your athletic director, Sweatler, is also the basketball coach for the boys. So you have kind of like all this extra duty that everyone takes on at Edgewood. And, you have a lot of these student athletes and, they go on to do great things in their career and they come back professionally to be involved with the schools as well. Yeah,
the baseball coach at Edgewood College, Al Brisak, is also the athletic director of the college as well. So, that's basically how they do it as the Crusaders were marching down the field. Pretty good here. Got tripped up by a penalty. He's going to bring up second down and long. But it is a very unique situation, I think, at Edgewood and on that campus. The grade school also on that campus. They all share that. And so I think that's kind of neat. It also allows for opportunities. Zentmeyer's not going to get anything for like my son at Edgewood College, gets also student teach over at the high school. So I think it's also pretty cool. Gets to spend times at baseball camps with younger kids and what have you, besides volunteering his time. So, they ask a lot of the kids, but the kids give a lot back in return. I think they learn a lot as well. So.
Yeah, I hope Jessa brings us some of that information from Monroe as well. I'm curious to learn some of what makes their school great as well. They have different things happen. And the only thing I really know about Monroe would be cheese days.
Yeah, which I love as the pass is complete to Wendler and a nice throw, that time by Hartlieb, and a big gain, 31 yards as Hartlieb finds Wendler just streaking up the seam. And you're talking about Monroe and cheese days. Monroe might be like my favorite town in Wisconsin, from the town square and the Minhas Brewery and all the stuff that they got going on. I love going to that town. My sister lives there. Zentmeyer near the end zone, tried to reach out to get it, and actually maybe reaching for that first down marker at about the 5-yard line. He got it. First and goal for the Crusaders, who are looking great on this drive.
Yeah, the energy picking up here in this stadium, and Monroe's going to take a timeout to make sure to quiet down this crowd.
Yeah, good drive by the Crusaders. Has the Cheesemakers on their heels. We'll see if Edgewood could cap it off after this on 57 Sports. (16-7) is our score. Monroe out in front of Edgewood, but Edgewood on the march right now as they have first and goal to go from the 5-yard line. Great series of plays, a lot of it led by Greg Zentmeyer, who gets faked to Hartlieb over the right side into the end zone. Touchdown Crusaders. Great job by Hartlieb as he faked it to Zentmeyer. The defense followed, and Hartlieb had the right edge for the score, and it is a Geeks Mania touchdown.
We haven't seen too much of that from Hartlieb this year. He does have 4 passing touchdowns, 63 carries, He does run the ball a lot, 209 yards, his 4th rushing touchdown of the season.
Nice job by Hartlieb to get it in on a great answer drive by the Crusaders as Bowl is on now to try and make it a 2-point game. And a whistle right before the snap. And that's the second time that we've had a flag against Monroe on the extra point. Wow.
You go in to try to block it, and guess that's why you play to win the game, Rich.
Yeah, you know, they're trying to win the game in college and in the NFL and every other high school game that we've done this year. We haven't had that. I mean, it's just something you don't see a lot. So, and it's happened twice here tonight. That's why you go to the games. Otherwise, you can see something new all the time. Our new score is 16-14. Monroe leads Edgewood, Bucko 3 until the half. We'll have it for you right after this on 57 Sports. Soggy night here in Madison, but we have ourselves a pretty crispy played football game. 16-14, Monroe on top. Both teams with 2 touchdowns. The only difference in this game right now is that twice Monroe's gone for 2-point conversions. Twice they've converted.
They have, Rich, and I'm just looking at the history between the 2 teams. Monroe has won the last 2 meetings between the teams. But before that, they had lost 11 games in a row in this series. So they are looking to start a streak of their own to really build on this, make it 3 in a row. The last time they met was Week 8 in 2017, where Monroe beat Edgewood 21-9 at home on their way to clinching a playoff spot.
Another short kickoff, as that has been kind of the rule rather than the exception here tonight. And the return
getting some chippiness.
Going to come out, to about the 30-yard line. You know, that happens with rivals. You see each other every year.
Haven't seen it enough, you know.
Yeah, you'll get some chippiness going on. I'll throw mud in your eye. And, we go from there. So I like it.
I'm waiting for one of the players to scoop the mud off the ground, put it under their eyes as eye black or war paint, and get on with it.
Yeah, why not? That would be good stuff. So, all right, we have first down here from Monroe. They got 55 seconds. They have 2 timeouts. What's the game plan?
Let's see. If I'm Monroe, I run it, see what I can get, and maybe try some short passes and use the clock, get the first downs, and do just like that.
Yeah, sprint option works, and a good call as Montgomery is run out of bounds at the 45-yard line. And so with 48 seconds now, a stop clock and still 2 timeouts, the Cheesemakers are in business.
Well, you know there's going to be chances for Monroe to score before the half, and you know they're willing to do it. They've been aggressive here tonight. They're probably a little grumpy that they just gave up a touchdown, so you go ahead and try to score with less than a minute left. I say, yeah, go for it.
Fresh set of downs. Golembeski's going to run the option to the other side.
Pretty.
That didn't work. In fact, that's a fumble, and the Crusaders have it, and this game could be turned on its ear if Edgewood could score after the fumble by Kleckler.
Well, Kleckler was receiving that pitch as Golembeski was
Check
like
that.
he was
Yeah, it's actually
pitching a little
Montgomery
early.
who never got the pitch. Took his eye off it, dropped it, and recovered there by the Crusaders, as it looks like it was Nick Fox who was able to corral that.
Well, if you're looking at your roster from Montgomery, trying to figure out how many fumbles he has on the year, just his second.
And that could happen with a wet football, slick pigskin out there right now as the field is soggy.
Well, now the game plan flips, and it's Edgewood on the attack. Caught the ball in the middle of the field, Rich. Now you're
Nice
picking
throw,
up first downs.
Yeah. Hartley connects with Alec Finger, the 5'11 senior, coming across the middle, getting the first down, and the Crusaders with a big pickup there of 21 yards.
Well,
Check
we
that,
were-
make it, yeah, it's going to be 16 yards on that one, and it'll be 1st and 10 now at the 33-yard line.
Well, we were told before the game that without Corcoran in the lineup, Alec Finger might be making more of an appearance. His 10th catch on the year. He had 117 yards coming in, 13 yards per catch.
Yeah, Finger is out. Also, Chase Canarella, the senior offensive lineman, who's been dealing with injuries all season long. Hopefully he's going to be able to make it back for the final game of the season next week. But, yeah, Canarella is definitely conspicuous by his absence here this evening. 16-14 is our score. Halftime show is going to be coming up pretty soon. And just so you know, all of our timeouts are brought to us by the Bank of Sun Prairie, with 3 locations in Sun Prairie and Cottage Grove. The Bank of Sun Prairie, the right balance. Member FDIC. First down now. Hartley has a good pocket, dropping back. Now is going to be chased to the right, still looking to throw down the field.
Wow.
Throws across his body into the end zone, nearly intercepted and nearly caught as kind of a jump ball, and an ill-advised throw there by Hartley, but a flag down would have brought it all back anyways as a holding call against the Crusaders.
As Hartley was escaping the pocket, watch number 55 get held here, and it was a super late call. It was the right call, but I don't know why it was called so late.
Yeah, as you saw on the replay, Charlie Clark grabbing a whole lot of jersey there, and then nearly intercepted by Bansley right outside of the end zone, but he couldn't hold on as a Crusader receiver became the defender on that one. So they'll march off 10 yards, and this just got a whole lot harder on Edgewood if they want to score.
I was a little bit curious to see if the officials were going to let that one go, just because of the good old rule of there's holding on every play.
There is, but yeah, that one is one that you got to call. When you get inside someone's actual pads, pulled the jersey, all that kind of stuff, they're not going to let that one slide. So now it is 1st and 20. The ball on the 43-yard line. Shotgun again for Hartley. Good pocket once again. Throwing to the right side, has his man wide open, but not being able to get out of bounds, it looks like, is Alec Finger. As
they did say the clock
burn,
stops.
Yeah, burn their 3rd and final timeout with just 13 seconds left.
Okay, didn't see they decided to go for the timeout there, and yeah, if you got to be moving the ball forward as you get out of bounds, and you also want to make sure you get out of bounds before being tackled so you can stop that clock.
We haven't had a quarterback sack here tonight because, well, we just haven't seen a whole heck of a lot of passing. If we did have a quarterback sack,
right.
It would have been brought to us by Auto Color. Unexpected collisions, scratches, dents, and dings. Visit Auto Color. Small damage, small repair, small price.
Alec Finger with his 2nd reception here in this quarter. But now with 13 seconds remaining, you do have that timeout still out, and they did finally take that off the board.
Yeah, that was their last one.
So now it becomes very difficult because now you think, well, this might be a throw it out of bounds and see if you can get a little bit closer for one last heave into the end zone before halftime.
Ball at the 39-yard line, way out of field goal range for Chris Bull. And so the Crusaders are going to have to get closer on this one. Again, 13 seconds left. Hartley out of shotgun. Has pressure right up the middle. He is not going to be able to escape as he is brought down, and a late flag. Wow, at the 45-yard line as the whistle had blown, and Then Hartlieb got pushed down, and with 6 seconds left, a personal foul against Monroe might push the Crusaders to where they want to be.
I don't know about that one. Let me see this again, because I'm not entirely sure.
The whistle comes, and then bam. Yeah, that's really close.
That one, you could let that go, and kind of depends what your philosophy is on how hard you want to let these guys play, but a tough call that's going to hurt Monroe here and at least give life, as you said, for maybe one last play.
Yeah, because that's not a spot foul. They actually marched that off from the line of scrimmage, which means the ball goes all the way up to the 24-yard line, make that the 26. And now with 6 seconds left, the Crusaders have a shot at a score.
Well, you see all DBs here in the secondary.
Hartlieb drops back, lofts it towards the end zone, overthrows finger, and that will put a wraps on the first half. Entertaining half of football. Monroe 16, Edgewood 14. Time for our halftime show as we send it down to our very own Jessa Jeremiah.
Thank you so much, guys. So we have had an exciting game, and we have an exciting halftime coming up for you as well. It is senior night here for the Edgewood Crusaders. You might see the parents as they're marching behind me, getting out on the field. We've got the dance team performing. We've got some students that are excited to show their school spirit. It's all going to be at our halftime show coming up here at the A1 Furniture Cheese Bowl. Welcome back. This is the A1 Furniture and Mattress Cheese Bowl. The Monroe Cheesemakers are here playing the Edgewood Crusaders. We're actually at La Follette High School tonight, which is the Edgewood Crusaders' home field for the evening. If you're watching the field, you're seeing the parents on the field right now. It is senior night for Edgewood. So we've got the parents, some of the dance team I see. I got the opportunity to check in with Chris Zwetler earlier in the game tonight. I think that was about second quarter that we spoke with him. One of the things that is so impressive about these students, and of course we'll give a nod to the parents as deserved, is how incredibly balanced the student life here is for the Edgewood Crusaders. Some incredible students, so we did a nod to some of the academic efforts by the school, not only the parents, of course, the teachers and the coaches as well. And balancing the athletic life, so lots of them involved in sports. We had the opportunity to talk to some of the soccer players that are here as seniors tonight as we gave away some of our community awards. And we checked in with the dance team, who we're going to watch their performance in just a minute, but all of them involved not only as students here with academics, but also with athletics. And not only that, above and beyond, they're putting in a minimum of 100 hours of community service. So these are busy students here at Edgewood High School, as we see across the board in lots of schools that we visit, but the added community service, I think, is really gives them a little bit of a nod in terms of that and all of the efforts put forth by these students and, of course, their supporting parents. So we're going to go ahead and take a break. You're watching some of the parents here on the screen for Edgewood. This is parent night. They're starting to come off field. And when we return with more of our Prairie Land halftime show, it's time for the dance team. I can't wait to see this performance. We got to talk to some of these folks during our sideline reports. So the dance team is next. It's the Prairie Land Towing halftime show at the A1 Furniture and Mattress Cheese Bowl. We'll be right back. Welcome back. This is the A1 Furniture and Mattress Cheese Bowl. If you're just tuning in, this is halftime, brought to you by Prairie Land Towing. We've got the Monroe Cheesemakers here at Edgewood playing the Crusaders. The dance team is on the field. I'm going to tell you who's out there. So we talked to the coach earlier tonight, which we enjoyed. That was Kristen Wills, the dance coach. We also have one senior on this dance team, and that is Colleen Sherpella. We had the opportunity to talk to her a little bit about this halftime performance. They're doing a great job, lots of energy on the field. They practice quite a bit for these opportunities. Now, this is their fall season. They have 2 seasons. Fall season is where they come out, support their football team, perform at halftime, and then looking forward ahead in winter is when they start getting into their competition season. When we get into winter, this team grows. So 1 senior out here this evening, and we will have more seniors to be added to the roster for their competition season. We are seeing Grace Dahlin, Makala Feller, Kira Ham, Lauren Kelly, Lauren Mays, Grace O'Brien, Sophie Procipio, Colleen Sherpella, who we met earlier, and Lexi Youcher. So that is what you're watching on the field, these students performing for our halftime here tonight. A great job by the dance team keeping the crowd engaged. The rain is starting to come down. We thought we were going to escape it, but not fully. So we are going to take a break here as the rain hits the field. We've got more halftime show for you coming up here at the A1 Furniture and Mattress Cheese Bowl. We'll be right back. Welcome back. This is the halftime show at the A1 Furniture and Mattress Cheese Bowl. We thought we were going to escape the rain. We are not so lucky. The rain is coming down now, but we're going to do an interview in the rain. We've got the Monroe Cheesemakers joining us here. So let's talk a little bit about why you guys choose to come out and support your team on an away game, a little bit of a drive for you.
I just really enjoy coming out to watch the Cheesemakers on Friday nights. Got a lot of Cheesemaker pride, and just love coming to watch the boys.
Obviously a theme here tonight. I know this is not your school colors, so you got pink. What's the theme this evening?
Yeah, we're wearing pink to show our support in the fight against breast cancer and as well raise awareness.
Good for you. October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, so I love seeing students support that. Now, I love asking this question. I ask every student group this question because I know the answer. Who's got more school spirit tonight? Is it the Cheesemakers or the Crusaders?
I got to say it's pretty obvious to me. I mean, you look at us and we're just out here giving it our all. And not to throw any disrespect, but Edgewood's just mad today. I'm not to be disrespectful, but look at us, look at them. That's all I got to say about that.
A brave statement as we're standing over here with the Edgewood Crusaders actually kind of watching this interview, but I love it. You got to support your school. You got to own up to your school spirit. We'll be back with more of our Prairie Land Towing halftime show. If we have a game to play, we're going to see what happens here. We might have a little bit of a rain delay. We'll find out after the break. It's the A1 Furniture and Mattress Cheese Bowl. Welcome back to the A1 Furniture and Mattress Cheese Bowl. This is your Prairie Land Towing halftime show. We got one more little blurb for you. Before we get back to the game, I wanted to give you a little bit of a weather update. You may notice I'm no longer getting rained on. We have moved under the tent. However, the rain is coming down pretty heavily here. The teams are coming back out on the field, so we're going to continue play in just a minute. As long as there's no lightning, we're looking at some lightning in the forecast in about 45 minutes. So as long as we can get the game in before the lightning strikes or starts, we're going to be in good shape. If you're tuning in just now, we are at the Cheese Bowl here. It's the Monroe Cheesemakers that are playing the Edgewood Crusaders. We're actually at La Follette High School. This is Edgewood's home field for the evening. They've bounced around a little bit this season. A couple games over at Middleton. They've also been at Breeze Stevens, and I think this is their second or third game here at La Follette this year. So they're, happy to be here, comfortable with this turf. And we're going to be back with the second half of the game. We'll see how the weather holds out, but it is the A1 Furniture and Mattress Cheese Bowl. Second half coming up after the break.
Well, the big development at halftime is that the skies have opened up and it is a veritable downpour here at Lucier Stadium. Alongside Eric Rogers, I am Rich Reynolds. The second half is going to be wet.
So ball security will be at a premium, and anyone who decides they want to pass the ball downfield is taking a huge risk.
Yeah, we've had one turnover in the game. That was a fumble by the Cheesemakers, which led to a Crusader touchdown as a kickoff to start the second half. Fielded by Bansley, and Bansley still trying to pick his way forward, and now he's going to run. And he's got room down the right sideline and pushed out of bounds just after midfield. Great return that time by Nick Bansley, and the Cheesemakers have great field position to start the second half.
One thing we didn't mention was not ball security, but arm tackles. Going to be very difficult. The jerseys become slick. We do have some dirty laundry on the field, so we'll see what that penalty is about.
And that is fortuitous there for the Crusaders, as our first Bus and Buses penalty flag of the second half is going to get marched off against Monroe and negate a really good return there by Bansley, as the ball's going to be brought back to around the 35-yard line. And so 1st and 10 there for Monroe, but not nearly as good as it could have been.
It appeared to be the 10, 15-yard variety, and then you're going to be sitting here. You got a 2-point lead, and your offense has been successful running in the ball in the first half. I don't see any reason why that changes here in the second, but obviously Edgewood stacking the box.
And a flag and a pre-snap penalty and a false start against Monroe. And so 2 flags before the offense even snaps the football here in the second half. Coach Golembeski cannot be happy.
Yeah, not that we don't start that half, especially, you were able to hold Edgewood to, prevent them from scoring right before halftime. And Edgewood had that momentum late in the second quarter, so we'll see if they can get it back on defense.
1st and 15 now as Montgomery in motion, and it looks like it's Kleckler who's going to get the first carry here to start the second half, and gets about a gain of 4 yards, as Ethan Kleckler was the workhorse in half number 1.
Well, when you look at the records, 1-4 in the conference for Edgewood in conference play, and they're at Milton next week, just 1-4. Monroe's schedule doesn't get any easier. They're at 4-1 in the conference, 5-2 overall. Oregon, who is playoff bound next week.
Yeah, Oregon has been playing some really good football lately, as they give to Kleckler again, and he bangs his way forward, and it'll bring up 3rd down and long, as you see Kleckler that time with 2 hands on the football.
When you're looking at Toli Golembeski's squad here, Monroe, Golembeski in his 3rd year, he has 29 years of coaching experience. He's coached at the youth league, the high school level, college level, semi-pro, European league.
Wow. Dude's been around.
He has. He's here and trying to lead his offense to expand this 2-point lead.
3rd and 8. Golembeski, the quarterback, and he gives it to Bansley coming around the edge, looking for the corner, and he got it. Big pickup there by Nick Bansley. They needed 8. He got 9. 1st down, Monroe.
Tiptoeing the sidelines, find just enough space. Slipping and sliding are the defenders. A little bit of stiff arm action and move those chains.
Zentmeyer just able to get a hand on Bansley, push him out of bounds, but not until the sticks are moved. 1st down, Monroe, and that was a big pickup, as they started with 1st and 15 and able to get the 3rd and long. Kleckler now on the carry, breaks an arm tackle, but then is dragged down in the backfield. Great pursuit that time coming from Alex Esch.
I'm not exactly sure what Madison Edgewood has for defensive formations, and they like to move those 2 high safeties to a single high safety and add in either another DB or linebacker. But with how much Monroe likes to run the ball, I'm a little surprised they don't go a little bit more run heavy on the defensive side.
2nd and long now, and just what we needed here in South Central Wisconsin. More rain. That is the story here.
Trying to set a record.
Of the second half. Yeah, it has been nuts, as the rain really coming down here right now in the second half. The good thing is there's no wind really to speak of, and it's still actually pretty warm.
It's surprising the way the weather this week has been a little bit up and down. You have cold day that you're starting to put on those long, jackets and long shirts, and then get the next day in the 80s, and of course
that's been us. We've been firing up the fireplace, and then the next day we're firing up the fire pit sitting outside. It's been so nice, as the pass by Golembeski behind his intended target in Alex Witt, and it'll bring up 4th down and 9 from midfield for Monroe. And for the first time all game, I think we're going to see their punting unit.
Yeah, maybe a surprise that you go in the second half here and try to nurse this lead and maybe not take as many risks, but you go in the punting formation in this slick weather, you're not sure what could happen.
4th down and 9 from the 50-yard line as the punting team is on for Monroe. Now they changed the formation, but still looks like they're back to punt.
Go from max protect to coverage team.
And a low line drive kick fielded by Wendler at the 24, and he is brought down immediately as a great tackle on the play. Good coverage by Monroe is Tyler Matley, just a sophomore, showing what he could do on special teams.
Yeah, you'd love to see that from a gunner who's able to slip through the defense. Make sure you're not catching the, or you are seeing whether the receiver is going to be calling up that fair catch, because sometimes they'll throw that up so quickly that you're not entirely sure if it's a fair catch or not. We saw that in college football a couple of weeks ago. One of the teams did that fake like you just received it on a fair catch and then you run for a touchdown.
Greg Zentmeyer, the tailback to start the second half, picks up a couple of yards on 1st down. Zentmeyer with a touchdown in the first half, and he looked to provide the real spark as every time he touches the ball, looks like he could be a home run hitter.
Well, certainly nothing wrong with what Zentmeyer has done on the ground, but I'm a little surprised we haven't seen more of Hartley running the ball, considering you're not going to be throwing a ton here tonight in the second half.
Out of shotgun, and it goes to Zentmeyer once again, keeps his feet moving and brings it all the way up to the 30-yard line. And 3rd down and 5 upcoming for the Crusaders on their first drive of half number 2.
Yeah, sometimes you get in this 3rd and medium situation. That playbook is, you're kind of on that line of whether it's going to be a run or a pass. And considering the weather formation, this could be an interesting set of downs.
Out of the shotgun, the give to Wendler, and Wendler has nowhere to go. Brought down at the line of scrimmage, and a 3-and-out for the Crusaders, who are looking to punt this football away, down by 2.
Yeah, Monroe guessed it was going to be a run. They guessed correctly. They stopped the ball for minimal yardage, and Edgewood's off the field before they got anything going. That momentum in the end of the second quarter, it's all but gone.
Yeah, at this point, you got to figure, I mean, someone's offensive line needs to establish dominance here in the second half of this football game, because there's not going to be a lot of passing. There wasn't going to be a lot to begin with. There's even less now with this downpour going on. Rugby-style kick going down the right sideline. Good one. It'll roll dead at the 35-yard line. So a punt that time of 36 yards, no return, as Monroe will set up shop at the 35. When we get back, you're watching the Cheese Bowl on 57 Sports. Look at that shot right there. Tells the tale. At least Mom is happy about the fact that maybe some of that mud is getting washed off in this hillbilly car wash that is happening right now with the rain pouring down at Lucier Stadium, as on 1st down, a short gain for the Cheesemakers. Both coaches right now sticking to the ground game in half number 2.
I think it's just human nature that when you get stuck in a downpour like this, you're in your uniforms that are relatively clean at the time. You start to get uncomfortable with the cold and the wet, and then at some point you just get over it and start to play and get that out of your mind. So at some point here, someone will wake up, make a big play, and this offense on both sides will get going.
Call it 2nd and 7 as you look at Golembeski caked in mud. The give is to Montgomery. That jet sweep action has been effective for the Cheesemakers. This time goes for just a short gain, maybe a pickup of 2 yards. This is one of those games, though, that when you're out of high school and you talk with your buddies that were playing 25 years later, heck, you were playing in a hurricane. Remember that night and all the rain, and before you know it, there was wind and lightning and all that good stuff.
Yeah, as the years go on, it gets exaggerated and built on top of that. We've been there. We've been there.
Absolutely. 3rd down and 5. The give straight up the middle. Nothing there. Good job by the interior of the Crusader defensive line to force a 4th down and 5. And, here comes the punt unit again.
Well, all it's going to take is one missed tackle in the open field in this weather to break open and spring a big run, because you know when someone hits open field, it's going to be awfully hard for someone else to catch them on this soggy turf.
Great point. As Edgewood looking to return the kick, Jackson Wendler is deep at his own 30-yard line, and a good punt is going to drive Wendler back. Fair catch, he makes it at the 30, and all you want to do right there is just make sure that you hold on to that football. Once again, I would like to thank our title sponsor, A1 Furniture and Mattress, who bring us these games each and every week. A1 Furniture and Mattress, your premier mattress and furniture store. They'll also be bringing us playoff football for the first time ever on 57 Sports. That gears up in a couple of weeks. We got level 1 and level 2 playoffs for you.
So we will have that, yes, and I know at least one of those teams that we've talked to already about covering would be Madison Memorial, who has clinched, so you will likely see them. Obviously, those playoff seedings not determined, but teams that are in that I would imagine we would see: Sun Prairie, Wanakee, perhaps Monona Grove. We don't know yet, but...
Hey, how about Oregon? Oregon's looked really good. That could be a fun team to cover as well. There's a lot of good teams in the area that are going to be in the level 1 and level 2 playoffs, and you'll be able to catch the action right here on 57 Sports. So good stuff as 2nd down and 3. Good gain on 1st down. Wendler with another carry, and he's going to have our first down of the second half for the Crusaders as they're on the march now, getting near midfield at the 42-yard line. 1st and 10, Madison Edgewood.
Well, I know Monroe is just 1-6 on the season here, but they were a team coming in that was just on the outside cusp. They had made the playoffs a couple of years here in a row, and really far in the playoffs, lost in the quarterfinals, or semifinals, I should say, and now they're here at 1-6, kind of a bit of a surprise, but there were a number of coaches that named Monroe as a team that could be a surprise here in the Badger South, but that has not played out. But they have been, they have been close in a number of games, and they've been in it. And as you mentioned, Stoughton, one of those games.
Yeah, Coach Golombeski was talking about it during the pregame show, and just basically saying how tough the Badger South Conference actually is when you have MG in there and you have Stoughton and Watertown as well. I mean, it's stiff competition each and every week as Hartlieb on the carry on 2nd down, still moving forward, finally brought down near the midfield stripe, and it'll bring up 3rd and short.
Well, I actually got a chance to talk with Tom Hartlieb's dad, Jim, at halftime, and Jim is a former quarterback at Iowa. He played there, and actually one of his best games, most memorable games, maybe you remember this, Rich, at Kinnick Stadium in '92. Scored a touchdown with 55 seconds remaining and scored a 2-point conversion to beat Wisconsin at Iowa.
I do remember that game, and I do remember Jim Hartlieb at quarterback for the Hawkeyes. So, wow, did not know that. That is good stuff right there.
He's back in Madison. He's the president of First Business Bank in Madison, so
nice.
On the west side, and back in Wisconsin actually has, son Thomas at quarterback right now, and Joe Hartlieb, a quarterback on the roster as well.
4th and short. Hartlieb faked it to Wendler's going to keep it himself, put his head down, trying to get the yardage, but it's going to be brought down about a yard shy as a good job by the Monroe defense to get penetration and stop that, and now the Cheesemakers have great field position.
Really tough to make a tackle like that in open field against a quarterback in a league where, lowered the head and the shoulder did Hartlieb.
I love it. But not able to pick up the 1st down as he's brought down by someone whose number was obscured by mud.
Absolutely caked.
Love it. That field just getting darker and darker out there, and a lot of that mud is ending up on the jerseys and pants of these players. As Golombeski under center now from midfield. 1st down, and the give, I believe, is to Kleckler.
The ball.
Yeah, this is going to be harder to call as we go along. It's actually Montgomery, so his number on the back is definitely gone, as it is all mud out there right now. And that is a lot of fun, but also for us, that post-game interview trophy presentation is not going to be clean.
Well, I love this, from that perspective of watching this game, and I would love to do an award, and I was waiting for a game like this to hand out the dirtiest jersey award.
Yeah, that's a dry cleaner could take you up on that one maybe, as this is pretty nasty right now. Kleckler, the give, up the middle he goes, still bowling his way forward, twisting, turning for a pickup of about 8 yards on 3rd and 9, so 4th and short. We just saw the Crusaders go for it. We saw the Cheesemakers go for it a couple times in the first half. I would guess they're going to go for, oh, wait, I'm getting ahead of myself. It's only 3rd down now. The scoreboard operator fooled
You
me.
might be, predicting the future. Maybe it's an incomplete pass here, and it's 4th and short after this play.
Yeah. Clairvoyant is something that I have never been.
Get out your tarot cards.
Yeah, 3rd and 2 as the give is to Kleckler. Breaks through an arm tackle and is still trucking forward. Slides ahead to the 31. That's a pickup of 11 yards and a 1st down for the burly Ethan Kleckler.
Yeah, curious to see which direction they like to run the ball. Do you want to run between the tackles up the middle of the field where it's all mud, or do you try to get to the outside where you can get a little bit more clean footing, but perhaps the defenders have cleaner footing as well?
1st and 10 now. The Cheesemakers started this drive at midfield. They are at the 31-yard line as the Crusaders trying to stop them here, trailing by 2. Give us to Montgomery, slides forward for a few yards on 1st down.
What I'm curious to see out of that formation is that wide receiver near the far sideline. If in the future you move him in motion to see if you can get the defender off that side of the field. However, if it ends up being zone, then maybe you're in a different position. But curious to see how that works.
2nd and 7, rain continuing to drench this field. In motion is Montgomery. The give is to Kleckler. Kleckler breaks another tackle and is still going forward to bring up another 3rd and short. Good hard running by Ethan Kleckler here to finish up the 3rd quarter.
What I'm looking for, Rich, in the future on a passing play, especially as you get closer to the goal line, is what you'd call like a zigzag motion, where the receiver will run towards the line of scrimmage or towards the quarterback, then run backwards, and on that reverse motion, you lose your defender and able to get a quick pass out to him for a touchdown.
We are through 3. The Cheesemakers lead by 2 here in the 2018 Cheese Bowl, presented by A1 Furniture and Mattress on 57 Sports.
Welcome back to the A1 Furniture Cheese Bowl. This is a sideline report, although we've kind of moved off of the sidelines into the grass because it is pouring, as you can see, by these football players that are sliding around. We've got the Edgewood Crusaders, some of the student section, joining us right now. Thanks for taking a minute. You guys have stayed, even though it is pouring rain. Why did you choose to stay and support your team?
We're just out here supporting the boys. Yeah, we just like to support our fellow senior classmates.
I think it's awesome. Good for you. Even weather doesn't matter to you. You're going to stay here and support. Now, you've obviously got a theme tonight. What's your theme? How do you pick it?
The theme is Jersey, and the seniors pick it.
And it is senior night here tonight, so that is appropriate. And, of course, I asked this question. We asked the Cheesemakers earlier, who has more school spirit? Of course, they said they do. What do you think?
I think we do. By far, we have way more spirit than them. Like Cheesemakers, no.
Well, there's certainly more of you in the stands still here after the rain, so we'll give you the point for second half for sure. Thanks for taking a minute with us, guys. We'll get back to this very wet football game.
4th quarter is happening right now, and to start the 4th quarter, the Cheesemakers get a 1st down. Along with Eric Rogers, I am Rich Reynolds. Final 12 minutes here, and this is a huge drive. But Monroe, a touchdown here can make it a 2-score game and push this game out of reach.
Yeah, certainly, and then you don't have to go for that 2-point conversion if you don't want to. Some interesting jerseys here tonight. I haven't seen some of those here in the past, but yes, you got Carmelo Anthony down there.
The Carmelo Anthony Denver Nuggets jersey,
right, yeah.
So that's a couple of teams ago for Melo, as That's an interesting one. We had other interesting ones as well. Some shockingly interesting. So good stuff by the crew here that is out for Edgewood. 2nd and 5 right now. Take a look at those Hogs up front. Covered in mud as Kleckler plows his way forward. Wow, great camera shots right there. As you take a look, this is football. This is excellent stuff.
So you've seen our trophies before, how bronze color that is.
Yeah.
It is the exact color of mud, which the winning team will be that color.
Absolutely. We're getting dirty in that trophy presentation coming up after this one.
I'll let you take
tonight.
that one, Rich.
Yeah, thanks, man. 3rd down and 2. Ball at the 11. And they give to Kleckler once again off the right side. He's got a 1st down inside the 10-yard line and a fresh set of downs to get that touchdown for Monroe on what, again, is the drive of the game right now. They could finish this football game off.
Just methodical the way they've gone down the field, and I think both of these teams feel that, you know, their running game is being effective. Monroe's a little bit more effective than Edgewood's right now, but boy, it is hard to stop the run right now.
Give is going to be to Montgomery. Montgomery met by a slew of Crusaders and driven back at the 5-yard line. So a short gain that time by Montgomery brings up 2nd down. And take a look at these pictures. And those guys, unbelievable amount of mud on the jerseys and pants of these players out there now.
Well, Montgomery has 2 touchdowns, looking for the hat trick here tonight. Did not get in that time. Close ball game and a scoreless 3rd quarter as we move inside the 10-minute mark here in the 4th.
So from the 4-yard line now, it is 2nd down. Kleckler straight ahead, plowing forward near the end zone, and a touchdown for the Cheesemakers. Ethan Kleckler would not be denied as he just followed those big Hogs up front to pay dirt, and a Geeks Mania touchdown.
Well, there it is. Nothing really fancy about it, but they didn't have to do anything fancy on that drive. Just rotate some fresh legs in, mix it up on who's going to be the ball carrier, and what do we know about 2-point conversions? They're going to go for it.
That is some hard-nosed, slobber-knocker type football right there. As with an 8-point lead, the 2-point conversion is good. It is now a 10-point lead for the Cheesemakers as Aiden Sweeney, with one of the cleaner jerseys out there, is able to take it in. 9:32 and left in this one. Monroe up 10 on 57 Sports. A lot of people to thank for our broadcast tonight. That includes Nono's Ristorante Italiano. Remember, you don't have to leave Madison to experience real Italian food. Nono's over on Whitney Way.
Involved in our coin toss earlier in the game when the field was still green.
Yeah. And it wasn't raining. It was the rain started coming down right at the end of the first half. Like the whistle blew, the team ran off the field, the rain started, and it has not let up since then.
Well, the radar before the game said, nah, you'll be fine until the game's over.
That's what it seemed like. It seemed like we weren't supposed to get rain for another hour and 15 minutes or so, but it blew in a lot faster than that, and everyone just getting soaked here at Lucier Stadium. All right, the Crusaders have work to do. Down 10 with 9:32 left in this one. They got to fight the elements and the Monroe defense. Squib kick once again picked up at about the 15-yard line. Not much there. It's hard to get going and get speed going on a wet turf.
Well, it was perfectly placed on that one because it rolled to a dead stop before the ball carrier even got the be able to pick up the kickoff. So that was just a well-placed kick, and it was never going to really go anywhere for Edgewood. So you have to pick it up, and you can't get going, as you mentioned. And now here you are, about the 28-yard line, and ready to start things off down by 10.
Yeah, and you got to pick up yards quickly. You got to score quickly. I think if you're Edgewood, if anybody's going to be getting that football, Greg Zentmeyer looks like the home run hitter. They've had some success passing the ball, not a whole lot, but Zentmeyer right there, who gets the carry on cue on first down, is the guy that seems to be the one that can break one.
Well, I know what I'm doing if I'm Monroe, and if you can get a stop here on defense, then it's just be as slow as possible on offense.
2nd and 4.
Killing the clock, yeah, definitely the goal right now of Monroe. That clock can't run fast enough. We're inside of 9 minutes now. The Crusaders trying to save every second. Zentmeyer the carry once again, and once again, he doesn't get very far. Good job on the interior of that Monroe defense. 3rd down, and we'll call it 4 for Edgewood.
Well, Monroe not fooled on that one because the outside linebacker ended up shifting out to cover one of the 2 wide-out receivers. He decided, nah, I'm going to kind of haphazardly cover this guy because I know it's a run. They get in there and they stop it for minimal yardage.
Hartlieb to Zentmeyer once again. Zentmeyer
That's not going to help.
Not, get very far. Just past the line of scrimmage, and that is all. 4th down now, and Edgewood, I think, is at that point down by 10 where they have to go for it.
Well, Coach Norris, the first year with this team, he talked about culture and how things were going to move forward in his first year and what he's going to establish. And now you decide how aggressive you're going to be, what you're playing for. And 8 minutes and 6 seconds left, you start to think about what your strategy is going to be, and I say go for it.
The Crusaders going to go for it from their own 35-yard line. 4th down and 3. Big play right here. Hartlieb is going to be in the pistol. Handoff's going to go to Zentmeyer. Zentmeyer brought down in the backfield, and a flag to boot, which I think was a hold, which at this point is just adding insult to injury as Monroe sniffed that play out from the beginning.
Absolutely did. You spill that play to the outside, which is exactly what you want to do if you're Monroe. Try to strip the ball away. Effort on the play by the running back, kicking up all big chunks of sods of dirt.
Nice play. Jacob Amaker, who was able to knife through the defensive line, get the tackle in the backfield, and now it's 7:48 left in this game. The Cheesemakers up by 10 and at the 26-yard line of Edgewood.
So time becoming a factor in this one, down by 10, and now it is turnover on down, so Monroe with one more score would put this thing really out of reach.
First down, give up to middle as Kleckler, a short game, but it doesn't matter. Right now what you're gaining is the clock ticking away. By the way, our thanks to Bachman's Pool, Spas, and Saunas. All of our muddy replays this evening brought to us by Bachman's. Stay warm and boost your immune system this winter with a Hilo infrared sauna. Go ahead, relax. It's Bachman's. R-E-L-A X, right? Yeah,
yes.
There we go.
C-H-I-L-L.
Wait, did Aaron Rodgers spell both of those?
I think I made that last one
Yeah,
up.
I think you did too.
Yep. Eric Rodgers said it.
Nice job.
Yeah.
The Rodgers brothers doing a little tag team there.
Oh, wait, there's a recording of him saying my name, so
yeah.
You know, pretty much the same thing.
Almost kind of spelled the same.
So for you who don't know my little bit of my background in radio, I had a show called The Neighborhood because my last name's Rogers, so I got to play off the Mr. Rogers angle. And one of my, I guess you'd call it a rejoin in the business, the music you hear when you come back to the show from commercial was Aaron Rodgers saying my name, of course.
You know, just when that show was getting good, that show stopped as a fumble. Bansley lost it, but luckily jumped right back on it. I missed The Neighborhood.
You know, they never did fill that Sunday 9 a.m. slot, so just you can't replace me.
No. The irreplaceable Eric Rodgers. That's how I'll have to
Okay, so there's a
show.
show, I can't remember who it is or what station it was, maybe TBS or something. There's a show on TV called The Neighborhood, and I kind of want to sue them for naming rights or something.
They can't take your name.
I didn't get my show syndicated quite yet, but the point still remains.
Should have been. 4th and 1 now. Monroe, of course, going to go for it. Rain continuing to bombard Lucier Stadium.
Big stand here for Edgewood.
And will make it, it looks like, as the Edgewood defense got penetration, turnover on downs, and that was big for Edgewood as a first down there, and we're basically just running clock for Monroe. So now Edgewood gets one more shot at maybe getting a big play.
Yeah, both teams knew exactly what was coming. It was going to be a run up the gut. You plug up the holes and stop them just before reaching the yardage markers, and Edgewood keeps hope alive.
You know, I'm thinking as the rain comes down here, you know, what we're really missing is a good sideline report. Jessa should be out there in the rain right now.
Where is she, Rich?
Getting this done. Yeah,
Weird.
I don't know. I mean, what's going on with all that? 1st and 10.
A press box update
for the Crusaders from the 18-yard line. Give is up the middle to Wendler, and Wendler, good gain on first down, but Edgewood's going to need a whole heck of a lot more than that to get back into this football game.
Well, I brought that up last quarter and when we're going to see one of those big plays break open, but I think both these teams just kind of keyed in on what the other team's doing, and nothing really too creative happening yet. And what can you do in the weather like this? And there's not really too much trickery you can throw in there without risking a turnover.
We've seen teams go for it on 4th down. We've seen the surprise onside kick, as that one didn't work for Edgewood, cost them some points as this pass is complete and a minimal gain out there, 3rd down, and we'll call it 3 coming up.
Well, it is a manageable 3rd down, but manageable is not what you're looking for right now. You're just looking to get some yardage, and with this clock ticking towards 4.5 minutes remaining,
they need big chunks of it, and they're going to get some of it right here as Wendler stays on his feet and is finally dragged down in the mud at what used to be the 39-yard line, and a 1st down for the Crusaders.
We have an Edgewood lineman sitting up, not quite getting off the field quite yet, so that'll cost them a timeout, you would think, right?
Maybe we'll find out. It's a timeout for us anyways. We'll step aside and come back with Edgewood down by 10 here on 57 Sports.
Once again, we'd like to remind
back out at Lucier Stadium. The Crusaders down by 10, looking for a miracle here as they try to get their offense going against what has been a very stout Monroe defense.
Oh!
Snap gets away from the quarterback. Hartlieb dives for it and did not get it back. Monroe can get that football and advance it. They do. They're inside the 20-yard line, and that is probably your dagger right there, as the snap never got off the ground and into the hands of Hartlieb.
An unfortunate sequence for the Crusaders, and you just want to fall on it, but even then it's hard to do in this weather. And as you mentioned, Monroe had the chance to advance it. They pick up the ball, and
they blew the whistle, so Edgewood retains possession.
Oh, wow. How about that? A whistle was blown, and Edgewood is maintaining possession of the football. So a huge break there by the Crusaders as they still have a shot. Wow. That was serendipitous.
Certainly a lucky break for the Crusaders in what would have been disastrous, but still alive. That pulse still there.
So fresh set of downs, actually, too, for the quarterback. Hartlieb out of the pocket, surveys the field over the middle, and that pass was caught. And that was a great catch as going up for it and making the catch. I believe that's 25,
yeah, it looked like
Murphy
it.
Penwell, as it's hard to see with all that mud on him. But look at the shot that Penwell takes as he makes it. And that was a chunk of grass at one flying. At first, I thought it was a football. As Hartlieb throws
pass interference,
incomplete, and here comes the flag for pass interference as everybody just slipping and sliding right now on the former grass field here at Lucier Stadium.
So I said we were looking for a big play to propel Madison Edgewood, maybe just some lucky breaks and quirky plays.
Yeah, like that fumble, that bad snap never happening, and That was really a fortuitous bounce for the Crusaders. Now they get a big pass play along with a penalty.
This is
and
funny right
just
now.
Just like that, they're moving the ball.
I think it's kind of, comical that the officials are doing what they can to keep the ball dry, but it's just all for naught.
Yeah, forget about it. As soon as it hits the field, as soon as they bring it out, those towels that they're wiping the balls off with, they're soaked. I mean, everything at this point is just wet.
Yeah, they were marking that ball off at the original line of scrimmage, so they had to march it backwards now to the correct call after the pass interference, and now Edgewood in a position where they're not out of this thing.
1st and 10 at the 35-yard line. Shotgun formation once again.
Nickel
Hartlieb going to
defense.
fake it and try to run himself. Could not get going as the muddy turf slowed him down enough for the Monroe defense to capitalize and drop him for an auto-colored sack.
Yeah, that's just a coverage sack on that one because there were 5 DBs, a nickel package by the defense expecting pass, and just so much slippage happening that the defenders that know where they're going have the advantage when it comes to pursuing the quarterback.
2nd and 14 now. Hartlieb out of shotgun, throws it long down the right side. Nearly caught as a diving effort out there by the intended receiver as the ball's just a little bit too long, the pass intended for Alec Finger. Did everything he could to catch that football.
Yeah, I kind of feel like there's some magic brewing here for the Crusaders. I half expected that ball to be caught for some reason just because it would be too crazy that it happened on this drive.
3rd and long now as the Crusaders not afraid to let that football go right now. Pass attempt once again, it looks like, is Hartlieb slipping around, still alive, rolling right, and he is going to be dropped. Another auto-color sack, and this time coming up and making the hit was Wade Sweeney out of his DB role as he was able to knock Hartlieb to the ground. It's 4th and forever.
I think that was just the case of the quarterback trying to do too much on the play. The defender slips, the initial defender, and then instead of throwing it away since he's outside of the pocket, he tries to escape and get past the other defender, and instead it goes down as a huge sack.
4th and 23 is what we have upcoming here. Hartlieb dropping back, letting it fly down the left side. It looked like it slipped out of his hands, falls incomplete as Sweeney is unable to go ahead and grasp that. It doesn't matter. In fact, it's nicer if you're a cheese maker fan that one hit the ground.
The only one that mattered to was the DB that dropped it. But the drive on that one stalls out, and that, I would think, would spell the end to this one.
Yeah, I think you're right, as the Crusaders did a great job trying to come back, had a lucky break go their way, but it is for naught, as tonight the Monroe Cheesemakers are going to win the 2018 Cheese Bowl, get their 2nd victory of the season.
Yeah, how about that? You even up the records between the two teams, and the 3rd year in a row Monroe will beat Madison Edgewood after an 11-year drought in the series.
Golembeski under center, and the give straight ahead as that, I believe, is Kleckler, who slips down after a gain of a couple of yards. So remember, we got the trophy presentation coming up. We will also have the plays of the game coming up tonight, and that is brought to us by Rosen Nissan. Take a spin in the brand new Nissan Kick today at Rosen Nissan.
We have a smaller SUV, but so for those who know me, I've got a smaller hatchback car, and for the price I paid for that hatchback, I could have actually gotten a SUV. The Nissan Kicked. It's
yourself
a decently
get a
good
kick.
price vehicle. I know.
Yeah.
I didn't get a good kick out of that. Kicking my pants for not buying the kicks.
2nd down play goes nowhere as Edgewood is going to burn a timeout. We'll take it with them. It's a Bank of Sun Prairie timeout. $1:49 left. Monroe up 10 on 57 Sports. Those uniforms tell the story right there. It's been that kind of a night. It always feels a lot better, though, if you're going to get that muddy, that soaked, that wet, if you come out on top, and it's going to feel pretty good for the Cheesemakers.
I'm wondering also if Cobus and Buses, who's our one of our sponsors here, if they are taking the players back to their schools, because they're going to have some seats to clean up.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, that's right. Didn't even think
so
of that.
So the ride back will not be fun.
That is a mess, yeah. 3rd and 7. Monroe in command of this one as the give is going to be to a still going Bansley, and he is gone. Nick Bansley, 49 yards, takes it to the house, and that is the cherry on top of the Sunday for the Cheesemakers, who are now up by 16.
Well, that's what we talked about earlier, when one of those plays was going to bust open, and part of that the weather, part of that the game out of reach, and Bansley finds his way to the end zone on a long touchdown run.
Nick Bansley having himself a nice game here tonight. Odd formation here on the extra point. It looks like they're setting up for an extra point.
Door, yeah.
Yeah. Now the line all coming forward. We're going to see our first extra point attempt of the night by Monroe. They've been going for 2 all night long. They go for 1, and that looked pretty good. I guess they could have done that all night long if they wanted to. Monroe 31, Edgewood 14. We'll finish this one up when we return on 57 Sports. It's pretty amazing when you're looking at all the players on the field, those that have played and those who have not, and it is in real stark contrast, especially for the Cheesemakers, because those that haven't played, they still have the clean white uniforms. Those that have are all brown from the mud here at Lucier Stadium.
The person upset with that, either the mothers or the team, whoever's in charge of the uniforms to clean those, like, no, that one was going to be good for next week.
Tell you what, the football gods might be smiling on us right now. We have a post-game trophy presentation, and guess what? It kind of stopped raining. It's kind of just a mist out there right now after we've had a driving, pouring rain for the entire second half.
Just in time for the ball security to not matter as much now.
You know who's upset about that? Jessa over there on the sideline, knowing that we're not going to get poured upon like she was for the entire second half.
She actually disappeared for a while. Didn't know where she went.
She did, as she was able to dry out for a little bit. 31-14 is our score. Again, next week, we are coming right back here to Lucier Stadium, our 3rd visit to Lucier Stadium in the season, but it's always a different home team. This time, it's going to be Madison LaFollette.
Right.
The Lancers are going to be at home taking on Middleton. And what's funny about that game is they're going to have to play on this field that is torn up this week by these two teams.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what Mother Nature has in store for us weather-wise, or if they are able to put some seed down and get that grown enough that for next week to set in and have some good footing.
No chance. It is going to be rough sledding next week, and if it gets cold and hardens up a little bit, that can be a disaster as well, because footing can be a real problem next week out there. So that'll be interesting. That's how we'll finish up the season. Maybe LaFollette is looking for a possible playoff berth in that one, or it's a tune-up game for the Middleton Cardinals as they'll be getting ready for the playoffs. Well, that's horrible English right there.
Never said we were the best. Majored in English. Just spoke it our entire life, you know.
None of that made sense at all. They'll be getting ready for a football game the following week at level 1 of the playoffs. Hartlieb is going to throw on first down, too tall for his intended receiver. Finger as it went right through his fingers as he needed a few more inches to make that one second down and 10.
Yeah, I tell you, though, if he did catch that ball, there was a seam open that I think he was already eyeing to get down the field and pick up some more yardage and maybe even go all the way.
Tough to throw that football when it is wet. Second down and 10. Hartlieb throws it out into the flat, has his intended receiver, and a nice catch and move there by Jackson Wendler.
Oh, we got a late penalty flag. Wonder if someone hit the receiver out of bounds or
tackled by
taunting, maybe?
Gain of about 6.
Unsportsmanlike conduct is what that appears to be.
Yeah, that happens from time to time. That's going to go against Edgewood, and, you know, that's one of those frustration penalties right there. This game was close. It was 16-14 at halftime. It was anybody's football game in what was a very evenly matched game, but things just started turning the way of the Cheesemakers. They turned good field position into points in the second half.
Well, there's at least two games that you're always going to get up for, and one is homecoming and one is senior night. And this is senior night for Madison. Edgewood playing at La Follette, and it's just not been the game they intended. They were in it for most of it, but as you said, that the frustrations set in as you realize the game's out of reach.
So it's going to bring up, it was a post-play foul, so it's 3rd and 19. Clock is running. Zentmeyer's going to get the carry and take it over the right side. Got about 4, needed about 15 more, and 4th down, and the clock will continue to burn out on this one. So again, we have the trophy presentation coming up. Lots of good stuff to get to as these players, I think especially on the Edgewood sideline that is going to be happy that this football game is coming to an end.
Well, as I said, they'll be taking on Milton next week on the road to finish off the regular season, so they have a chance to finish this season with a win. It's going to be a little tougher for Monroe, who's at Oregon next week, who is playoff bound, and for them, this is their win of the, to end the year.
Hartley rolling right as he was chased out of the pocket. Down he goes with another auto colors sack, and that is apropos as 3 sacks by that Monroe defense in the second half definitely helped their cause. So the Cheesemakers are going to be victorious tonight, and we'll talk about it on the sports news a little bit as we do our WIAA football wrap-up. It is brought to us by Supercharged Foods, and we'll definitely be talking about this game and others around us. Some teams are still jockeying for football position and for seeding as well.
Yeah, we've talked a lot about the Badger North, the Badger South, and the Big 8, but one of the teams that is not in that conference that we haven't talked about is McFarland, which I believe is 3rd or 4th in the rankings among coaches in Division III. So that's a team that maybe we even seen them in the postseason. I mean, they're a local team that's, I don't want to say silently, but not been talked about a ton by us, and doing well this year.
Yeah, we don't do a lot of Rock Valley talk, and maybe we should, as we have in the past. We've seen the Evansville games and Edgerton and all of that, but maybe McFarland's a team to go ahead and take a look at. All right, final score here tonight, 31-14. Monroe is victorious. The tent is gone. Jessa is out, and she takes over right now. Go, Jessa.
All right, thanks, guys. You're right. The tent is gone. The rain is slowing just in time for our A1 Furniture and Mattress trophy presentation. I have a feeling we're going to get wet and possibly a bit muddy because these guys are covered. But the Cheesemakers are taking this trophy. That's coming up next after the break, so stick around.
Back out at Lucier Stadium alongside the irreplaceable Eric Rogers.
Thanks.
I am Rich Reynolds. It is time for us to check out the Rosen Nissan plays of the game in a game that was dominated in the second half by Monroe. The first half, we had ourselves a football game as it was only 16-14 at halftime. You see the nice catch there on the play by Penwell. And then we see
that
the
running play should definitely have been a touchdown.
Zentmeyer, I thought, was into the end zone, but didn't quite get there. He would get there on the very next play. There it is, as Zentmeyer finds pay dirt. The Crusaders were on the board first, 7-0, but Monroe would answer back on the ensuing drive.
Well, yeah, nice pitch out play there when the jerseys were nice and clean, and then the first half was
it wasn't
beautiful.
raining yet.
Yeah.
And yeah, all of that kind of good stuff. That was Nick Bansley, who later would score a very long touchdown on a 49-yard run, as the touchdown this time, though, was scored by Jordan Montgomery. And with the two-point conversion, the Monroe Cheesemakers won up 8-7, and two-point conversions was kind of their thing tonight.
Absolutely was, and there's Montgomery on another touchdown, and Boy, it was just a lot of running the football, and it didn't really seem like Monroe would be slowed down at all.
Zentmeyer with a nice little run, that little stop, stutter step kind of a thing. Then he gets the corner and was able to burst free. I liked some of that stuff from Greg Zentmeyer, but it wasn't enough tonight, as this also a play that really kind of swung things in the first half. A fumble off of the pitch. The Crusaders were able to get the football, and they were able to score points off of it, as Hartlieb, a nice pass there to Finger, actually a better catch than it was a pass.
Absolutely, the adjustment midair.
So Edgewood would finish that drive off, but then it was the Cheesemakers, especially in half number 2, as we saw them pound out the rock a little bit in the driving rain. Now the uniforms starting to get muddier and muddier, and that's what happened as the game went along. And look at that pit of mud there. Yeah, as breaking free for the 49-yard touchdown scamper was Nick Bansley, and that was the cherry on top of the game there. So 31-24 was our final. Monroe victorious. We got a trophy to go give away, don't we?
Yeah, we do. A big dirty trophy about the ugly color of the jerseys of the Cheesemakers.
A lot of mud. We're going to try and stay clean. The trophy presentation is next as you're watching the Cheese Bowl on 57 Sports.
We've got a fired up group of cheesemakers here. This is the A1 Furniture and Mattress 2018 Cheese Bowl. If you're just tuning in, the Monroe Cheesemakers have just defeated the Edgewood Crusaders. Great job, guys. Congratulations. So we've had some mic problems. We are down to one mic. We're going to pass it around. But first thing, as you can see, we've had a wet game. And, Coach, we're going to present the Cheese Bowl trophy to you tonight. Congratulations on behalf of A1 Furniture and Mattress and 57 Sports. We present you the Cheese Bowl trophy. All right. Rich, let's take it away.
And, Coach, we knew that there was going to be a dedication to the ground game by you guys tonight. Talk about what made you guys successful, especially, hey, in the second half, you guys blanked them and pulled away.
Well, I think a lot of what we did in the second half was based off of the groundwork we laid in the first half and getting a lead. We didn't realize until about the end of the second quarter that the storm was going to come in and dump that much rain on us. And we knew that if we were in a position with a lead and doing what we were doing, we were going to have a little bit more of an advantage than someone who was going to have to play come from behind.
We look at some of the standings in the conference and what you guys were playing for tonight, and it looked to us, and we haven't followed you every single step of the way this season, but aggressive calls, at least from the outside looking in, on what you go in for the 2-point conversion and a couple touchdowns.
Well, as just like as Edgewood, as one of the smaller schools in a pretty good conference of Division II teams, we've got to come up with different ways to give ourselves an advantage, get an edge, and that's just you may think that was aggressive, but that's just how we roll, and there was no better chance of getting that too than right after we got it, right after we got the touchdown. It was the exact same play, and I knew that at least that was one play we were going to run correctly because we just ran it correctly, so we might as well run it again.
Right.
So out of everybody here tonight, who's got the muddiest jersey right now? Who is it? Yeah, that's a good one right there. And who gets to wash these? It's Mom? Yeah, let's hear it for Mom. Yeah, Mom's going to love seeing all of these muddy jerseys tonight. What a victory for Monroe. Coach, here you go. The trophy for everybody. Great job. Yeah, by everyone involved tonight. For Justin Jeremiah, Eric Rogers, our entire crew, I'm Rich Reynolds. We'll see you next time on the A1 Furniture and Mattress Bowl Series right here on 57 Sports.